Hello, everybody. How are you guys? I hope you guys are good. Hope you're having a fantastic day or night, no matter where you are. All right. If you guys, if you guys can hear me, just let me know because I'm having microphone issues over here. But okay. So we've been talking a lot about the Jonathan Lee Riches JLR Investigates situation that has been going on. If you have not seen any of my past coverage on that, make sure you go and check it out. And it's all individualized. But right here today, we're going to go over everything that we have so far that's come out, that has been talked about, that has been brought up. So I'm glad you guys are here. Um, we're just going to jump right into it. So before we get started, please hit that like and subscribe button if you have not already done so. And make sure you click on that notification bell so you never miss a future video. Okay, let me make a blanket statement right here in the beginning. Everything is alleged. Everything that I say is my opinion based off of the research I have done and my perception of it. Do your own research, think for yourself, and form your own opinions. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and everything is alleged. Okay, so lots and lots to get into. We're going to get right into it. Let's get started. Now, I want to read you some of this article here. We'll start here. King of the Crazy Suit. Okay. Now, I'm not going to read these whole articles because there's only certain sections that I want to read, but I will link them down in the description below. So if you want to go and read the full things, you absolutely can. Okay, so as we know, what started, well, early in 2000s, which we'll cover in another article. But in 2003, according to court documents filed by the Department of Justice, Riches was arrested in Holiday, Florida for wire fraud, conspiracy, money laundering, and computer hacking, which is fraud in connection with access devices, and for using false identities to obtain money and property by means of false or fraudulent pretenses via interstate wire and credit fraud. He was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. He did do the time for those crimes. As to his motives, while court records of items seized by the FBI at the time of his arrest certainly show that Riches enjoyed the life of a high roller during his fraud days, a $9,000 platinum ring, a Movado watch, a Lexus. Now, Riches says he cares nothing for material possessions and that he knows his suits are bullshit. He is not insane, as in detached from reality. He knows what he is doing. Money says Riches is not a factor in his effort to soothe the world. What we know is, and what we've been saying this whole time is that he's all about fame. He's always wanted to be famous. Everything he's ever done has been about keeping his name out there, being in the limelight, being fame. He wants to be well known. He wants everybody to know who he is. He wants to be infamous, basically, which is why we've seen him do all those things with James Holmes and that whole situation and the Adam Lanza and all of that. Now, I want to take you just down here because this is probably the most important thing in this article. So, this article happened well. Oh, let me tell you this. Well, he was, yep, August 11th, 2010. So he was still in prison when this happened. He was hoping So, as for the future, Rich's hopes to be released to a halfway house next year. Once released, he plans to disseminate the seed of the lawsuit bug over the world, which Rich's hopes will result in an all consuming plague of court documents. The fact that he has been banned from filing cases in about a dozen federal districts due to repeated frivolous suits does not deter him. Now, listen very carefully to this part. Now, quote, oh, this won't stop, ever, not never. I mean, not only that, but my supporters are going to eventually see that, and the courts don't understand. Me getting banned, that's fine, but eventually other people are going to sue the courts or sue individuals that speak on behalf of me, that mention me in their suits. The world will hear Jonathan Lee Riches everywhere. Now, just to put this into perspective for you guys out there, as I have said, okay, fame has always been his main goal. He's not involved in these cases because he cares about victims. He is not involved because he has the passion to save or to give justice to victims. Let's make that very clear. The only reason, the one and only reason that he is doing and getting himself involved in all of these cases is so his name is out there. He's been doing this since the 2000s. It's his thing. And he clearly says it right here. And he says, go ahead and ban me. He's so convinced that he's such a good con man that he knows he's got all these supporters who will eventually do things on his behalf. I mean, this was in 2010. But let me just read this one more time because this is a direct quote from him. This won't stop ever, not never. I mean, not only that, but my supporters are going to eventually see that. And the courts don't understand. Me getting banned, that's fine. But eventually, other people are going to sue the courts or sue individuals that speak on behalf of me, that mention me in their suits. The world will hear Jonathan Lee Riches everywhere. Now, fast forward to 2026, and his name is literally all over the place. I mean, it's wild. It is wild. Sorry for my stuffiness, guys. I got a head cold. I'm sorry. Oh, welcome from the UK. Glad to have you. Okay. Now, let's move on. Lots more to see. Lots more to see. There's another very important part that I want to read you guys in this other article. Let me just pull it up here. Right here. Okay. Now, let me go back up here. Couple parts of this that I want you to hear. All right. So in the early 2000s, when the less affluent, in the early 2000s, sorry. When people were just starting to find their bearings online, Jonathan Lee Riches helped develop the identity theft technique known as phishing. I want people to understand how absolutely crazy this is. So JLR literally helped develop the identity theft technique known as phishing. Him and a group of people created this to scam people out of their information and their money. Okay. He was in his mid-20s, living in Florida and collaborating with teenage chat room acquaintances in Texas who used spam emails to trick victims into disclosing personal information. Rich's role was to monetize the data, which he accomplished by seamlessly navigating the online and offline worlds. Investigators described the way Riches would stroll into a bank, flash fake ID, and coolly impersonate his mark, convincing tellers to hand over thousands of dollars in cash. The consequences reverberated widely. By the estimate of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the group charged more than 1.4 million to accounts opened in the names of about 2,000 people. The ringleader remains in prison. Rich's own parents, who live in a small town in Pennsylvania, served probation for failing to fully cooperate with investigators. And we know now that what had actually happened was he had given his parents $45,000 of the money that was stolen. And then turned them in. So they were actually like, he turned on them, turned them in. It's wild, and got them all involved in the craziness. But the group charged more than 1.4 million to accounts opened in the names of 2,000 people. So before he went to prison, he literally, him and a group of people that he knew, defrauded over 2,000 people and stole over $1.4 million. Like, that's crazy. Okay. He was sentenced to 125 months in prison for fraud and conspiracy. All right. Now I say that, and I've said this, he is a lifer. Okay. He is a lifetime con artist. He's been doing it since he was young. That's what he does. And people think he got out of prison and changed. Immediately after he got out of prison, he was impersonating another person. He was impersonating the uncle of Adam Lanza. Okay. The guy didn't learn his lesson because he's not capable of doing so. Right. So now what he's doing, he didn't change. He's not a changed man. The con has changed. Now he uses it under the guise of looking for victims, where he literally collects thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars from people, from viewers, from people out there, because that he has them convinced that he cares for victims, which we know is not true because he is incapable of doing so. So he's still technically conning people out of money. No, he doesn't say donate to me. He does not. But what he does do is put up a very good con, right? He plays the game very well, and he's had years and years to refine it. And that's what you see today. So no, he's not a changed man. The only things that's changed is the con and the character that he's used to portray that con. Now, hold on. More. There's something else I wanted to hear in here. It's down here, maybe. Hold on here. Okay, right here. Now, I want people to understand When I say he lies, he has inserted himself into cases and literally done damage. Okay. By literally filing false reports under false pretenses, pretending to be people that were molested in a case. So let's look at this. So, a little more than a month later, courts in several states received requests for a restraining order against Jerry Sandusky, the Penn State assistant football coach convicted of child molestation. The plaintiffs, who typed similar accusations in all caps, included people calling themselves Jonathan Bollinger, Tom N., Tom and Jerry, and Gino Romano. None too amused, a judge in Wisconsin identified the plaintiff as Jonathan Lee Riches, who has vexed the court system with thousands of frivolous lawsuits before his recent release from federal prison, and who's so what don't let me not just gloss over what I just said, okay? He pretended to be three different people, all of whom he claimed were victims of molestation by Jerry Sandusky. He literally penned 3 letters pretending to be victims of molestation and sent them in to an actual case that was happening. Like, that's how mentally unstable this guy is. And he just does not care. I mean, do people not see how deranged and just damaging this man can be? Okay. Hold on. Okay. Now, let me get out of here. Like, that's crazy. That's on a whole nother level, guys. That's a whole nother freaking level. Now, I just wanted to pull this up just for the people who claim that he's done nothing. He's done so much good for the Nancy Guthrie case. So I just wanted to read part of this article. Amateur YouTube detectives' constant streams put cases in jeopardy. It's clickbait. On the 10th day of the search for Nancy Guthrie, reporters camped outside of the missing woman's home noticed a strange man strut right up to the front door. It had been more than a week since the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie had disappeared, and authorities had just announced that they had a new lead from ring footage, what looked like a potential suspect. So here we go into the Domino's delivery driver. Okay, the pizza. If you guys know that, they were streaming live. A pizza was ordered. Literally, somebody ordered it for JLR Investigates. Like, somebody in his chat ordered the pizza. They said they ordered the pizza, and the pizza driver just walked right up to Nancy's front door to try to deliver this pizza. Now, lots of people think that he himself ordered it. Some people think that, it was actually a real lady that ordered it and not JLR under a fake account. But so now, who was this unknown person clad in a gray top and black pants, carrying a large black bag and striding to the door? It was a Domino's delivery driver. Never seen something quite like this, local ABC reporter Ford Hatchett wrote on X. Delivery was for an independent journalist out here who is live streaming. JLR Investigates. A viewer ordered it for him. JLR Investigates is the name of a YouTube channel run by Jonathan Lee Riches, who describes himself as a fearless investigator and has more than 540,000 subs that watch his dispatches from outside Guthrie's Tucson home. We cannot believe we have to say this, but media on scene. Please do not order food delivery to a crime scene address. The Piedmont County Sheriff's Department wrote in a statement, this interferes with an active investigation. Please also respect private property laws. National media has descended on crime scenes since the dawn of tabloids more than 100 years ago. The modern media circus only became more invasive with the advent of the 24/7 news cycle. The Nancy Guthrie investigation is no different, but this time an even more meddling type of reporter has come to define the 3-week investigation: the true crime streamer. Self-declared sleuths like Riches have inserted themselves into the investigation, broadcasting their videos to a sizable audience. He posts stream with titles like Breaking, Manhunt, Nancy Guthrie Kidnapping Live. But once you click through, you mostly see Riches simply sitting in his car. On day 19 of the investigations, he was at one point documenting a police shift change at the scene of the crime. Bathroom break, he narrated to his 29,000 viewers. Richards, Riches does try to offer more than just dry footage of the house's exterior. He has investigated tips, such as an unrelated car tow and hospital airlift, as if these leads might go somewhere. Followers might appreciate Rich's tenacity, but the false tips breed misinformation. Wannabe reporters who have caused more harm than good to this entire situation and put this entire case in jeopardy. Okay? Just saying. He's not doing the good that people are convinced that he's doing. And it's crazy that people don't see that. For crying out loud, when you have somebody that, like I said, would literally create 3 fake people, write statements about how they were molested, the whole time making this up and sending this in as a victim statement to an actual real case is nuts. I mean, it's so hard to comprehend. But again, when infamy is your main goal and you don't have any empathy and you're incapable of caring about others, then yeah, it fits, right? It's craziness. There's no arguing with these simple facts here. Yeah, 50 years, he's never had a regular job, according to his ex-girlfriend. Never. Okay, now let's move on. Do me a favor, please hit that like button if you have not already done so. Appreciate it. I wanted to show you this. Did you guys know this? I didn't know this. I knew he had written a book, right? Nothing's written in stone or whatever about lawsuits, but let's look at this. Comes Now the Plaintiff, Selected Lawsuits and Poems by Jonathan Lee Riches. Literally, he's selling poems and stuff that he had wrote about court, about all of this stuff. And you can buy it on Kindle for $9.99. for $9.99. I mean, let's see. The legend goes that the Guinness Book of World Records had once planned a listing Jonathan Lee Riches as the most litigious individual in history. That is, until he sued them. According to Wikipedia, Riches had filed over 2,600 lawsuits in federal district courts all throughout the U.S., suing everyone and everything from Britney Spears to daylight savings time. Comes Now the Plaintiff, Selected Lawsuits and Poems include some of his most outrageous lawsuits, some never before reported, alongside a slim collection of his poems. You can buy them, folks, for $9.99. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. He literally wants his name on everything, everywhere. And it's almost like it's so deranged and so insane that, I mean, it's almost comical. A lot. Yeah, lots of people are thinking that. Lots of people are thinking that he was behind some of those. Yeah, He's got her snowed. She's made, she's given him lots and lots of money. Okay. Moving on now. Let's go over here. Give me one sec. Pull this up. Give me a second. And pause it. Okay. I want to take you over here to see what he just did. So he has, and it's not the first time, but he has doxed. He has put out the information. He has gotten his followers to go after people without having any facts of who is who, right? Now, I want to bring you to what just happened recently that he has done to somebody online. All right. So the deal is somebody had called in to his show, whatever, him sitting in a car. Somebody called in and they were like, listen, pissed off about, let's hear about what you did to Magnolia. Like, when are you going to talk about that? Like, why are you beating the shit out of women? And this person expressed that they would like to kick his ass, right? And JLR was like, oh, you're threatening me on national TV. You're threatening me, yada, 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 yada. Just whatever. So first of all, he puts the phone number up and displays this person's phone number right on his live stream. Then he tells his viewers, we need to find out who this person is. So then he's on X. There's this account on X, this Picasso Chad, who has been, like basically saying, this guy is an abuser. Look what this guy, Justice for Magnolia, right? And well, I don't know if it was between him or his viewers. I don't know if they share a brain, but somehow they decided that Picasso Chad was the one that called in that day, talking that smack to him on the phone, right? He doxes this guy. He calls this guy's job. And he calls the police on this guy and sends the police to this man's house. Turns out Picasso Chad is not even the guy from the phone call. So he totally went after this guy, put out all of his information, tried getting him fired, sent the cops to his house, and it's not even the same guy, right? It's not the same guy from the phone call. Now he has gotten a restraining order against Picasso Chad, probably because he thinks he's pissed off that he's now sent the police to his house for no reason. So let's take a look at what happened when the police showed up to this guy's house. I mean, it's crazy. Uh-oh. Where is it? Hold on. What the hell? Oh my god, I gotta connect real quick. Hold on. Hope I didn't lose anybody. Okay, can you guys hear me? Everything good? My freaking Wi-Fi went out, so I hope you guys can all hear me. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, perfect. All right. Now, the one thing I cannot do is hear in these damn headphones. I can speak, but I can't hear. So give me 1 second. I'm going to unhook these just so I can do this. I can hear.
Doorbell doesn't work. What's up?
Are you Chad?
Yep.
Hey, can I talk with you for a little bit?
Yep.
Again, so the cops showed up at this guy's house. And you got to listen to this. This is insane. Can you mute that, honey, for me? Somebody just long enough so I can play this video. And you guys can all hear me right now, right? Okay, perfect. You got me? All right. Let's play.
Doorbell doesn't work. What's up?
Are you Chad?
Yep.
Hey, can I talk with you for a little bit?
Yep, right here. What's up?
Okay. What's going on with the calls and messages to this Jonathan?
I don't call him. It wasn't me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you messaged him at all? Have you?
Nope.
Okay.
All I do is post on him about Twitter. I do not message him. I'll come out.
Okay.
No, I have not called him.
Okay.
It was not me. I know a lot of people think it was me, but I can promise you, it wasn't me.
Okay.
And I can prove that.
Okay.
My phone's right here.
Okay. What? Can I get your phone number?
Yeah, 507.
I was going to say. He ain't just going to put his number out there, is he?
Okay. So, what do you mean? How do you know that he's gonna?
Because of what we just have a Twitter beef. That's all it is.
Okay.
And he doesn't like what I post. He doesn't like what I say about him. It's all the truth.
Can you imagine calling the police because somebody said something about you that you didn't like on the internet? I mean, after everything he's done to people, and he's called, I mean, it's crazy.
He's an ex-felon. He lies about everything. And how do I think I know that? Because I can tell because I posted a video of that call on my Twitter. Okay.
Okay.
And the comments down below, some of his people have jumped in and said it was me. It isn't me. Can absolutely 100% prove that too.
Okay.
I'll give you my phone.
Okay.
Okay. So whatever you need for me to prove that, I will gladly do it.
Okay.
So anything you need. I wouldn't do that. That's pretty stupid, don't you think?
I don't exactly know everything that's going on.
Yeah.
I just know that he's reporting that he's getting a bunch of calls and texts and a bunch of harassing stuff.
0 of them are for me. 0.
Okay.
The only thing I've done is post on Twitter.
So the video of him during a live stream talking to somebody, that wasn't you?
Yeah. When somebody called him, I've got the video. I posted the video. I clipped it. Yeah, I clipped it and I posted it.
Okay.
And
that was you talking to him or no?
No, I said 1,000 times now that was not me.
Okay.
I never called him. I have never called him.
Okay.
Like I said, whatever you need for me to prove it, I will gladly give you my. You want my phone? Take it.
I don't need your phone right now.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I haven't called him. I don't even have his number.
Okay. Any idea who would be doing that stuff then?
Nope, no idea.
It's a long list.
Thinking it's you.
Dude, he's
like
got
a long list.
thousands of people that don't like him.
Right.
Okay.
Why he's the one giving out his phone number for people to call him. I don't know. It's not me, dude.
Okay.
Like I said,
I'm not accusing you. I'm just,
Yeah.
again, I got one side of the story and I'm
Yeah.
just trying to figure out how you're the one that's
Like how much
the only
time you got,
suspect in this
officer, to
and-
stand here?
because he wants it to be me.
Okay.
Because he doesn't like what I post about him on Twitter.
Have you ever met this guy?
Nope.
What is it that he does? I mean,
he is a YouTube journalist.
I love that the cop has no idea who he is. Like that probably pissed JLR off right there. Like, what? You don't know me? He's always, all the cops around here know me. They watch the channel. This cop's like, who even is this guy?
A YouTube, and he right now he's camped out at Nancy Guthrie. He's been there for like 60 some days now. And he just sits, well, they've shut it down. Nobody can do it now, but the sheriff's run people out of there. But for about 60 days, people were camped out at Nancy Guthrie's, and he is one of them. So, but yeah, so no, I don't know, whatever you need me to do, it's not me.
I know this guy's loaded up. Look at him. He's got he is he's ready to go.
Look what I do for a living, dude.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not here accusing you.
I know you're not. I know you're. But I can even show you my Twitter. I can show you some of the comments of the people saying, "Oh, it's you. You're the one calling him." Maybe they think that because I'm the one that clipped that certain when that.
He's got to be, though, this officer at this point. He's got to be like, dude, I'm a cop, okay? Why am I here talking to somebody because somebody's feelings got hurt on the freaking internet?
Guy called in, I clipped it at that point. It's like a 5-hour live stream that he did. I clipped that certain point out and I posted it.
Okay.
On that when that guy called in, telling him he's going to beat him up and all this other stuff and meet him here and whatever. I clipped that, and maybe that's why people are saying that. I don't know, because I clipped it.
Do you have that Twitter? I don't have Twitter, so I don't really know about any of that stuff, but
yeah.
Isn't that insane? He literally, let me plug this back in now. That is completely insane. He literally tried to go after this guy, like called his job, called the cops, like did all these things, and it's not even the right person. Literally not even the right person. So, JLR's just doing more damage every single day. This is what I'm saying. You couldn't even get the person right between you and your followers. You guys couldn't even get the right caller. And then you go and you do this. Maybe, just maybe let the real investigators take it from here, because clearly, I don't know if you could investigate your way to the broadside of a barn. Just saying. But as much crap as he's done to other people, to now make himself out to be a victim of harassment is craziness. What about the 100 calls that he gave to Magnolia after he took off? And he called her 100 times. I would say that's harassment. I would say that is harassment. All right. I wanted to pull this up. Jonathan Lee Riches left before the sheriff's office, County of Chelan, Washington, could arrest JLR. They had probable cause to arrest JLR, but he had already left the scene. Chelan County Superior Court Clerk's office says that they have the case. Updates will be coming next week. Jonathan Lee Riches, operating as JLR investigates, is currently the subject of an active investigation in Chelan County, Washington, following a serious domestic violence report filed on Christmas Day 2025. Incident details in Leavenworth. According to an incident report from the Chelan County Sheriff's Office, deputies responded to a call at the All Seasons River Inn, Leavenworth, Washington on December 25th, 2025. The allegations: his former girlfriend, Jamie Tennille Phillips, reported that Rich has brutally assaulted and strangled her during an argument the night before. Injuries documented. Responding officers observed and documented visible injuries to the victim, including a suspected broken nose and trauma to her head and ribs. Probable cause. The sheriff's office stated that they had probable cause to arrest Riches for assault and preventing a 911 call, but he was not looked at the time. But he was not booked at that time because he had already left the scene. Now, maybe what they didn't have was probable cause for extradition, and that would make perfect sense as to why they didn't go after him and bring him back. But it does say right there that he is the subject of an active investigation. Why do you think he doesn't want to go? I mean, why do you think he doesn't want to deal with his real life? And he's like burying himself inside of his car in Arizona. I mean, it's ridiculous. Now, this was 13 years ago that this video was put out. This is his wife, Naomi Riches, aka Naomi Leatherman, I think is her last name. But this is a video that she put out 13 years ago. Now I want you to listen to this video. Jonathan is who he is. He will never change. The guy has issues. It's not going to get better. Just listen.
Hello.
Did I hear a bark?
You did hear a bark.
I'm under the influence of alcoholic beverage.
I'm still kind of freaked out that some lady that I don't even know showed up at my mom's house.
I'm telling you, it's an agent.
You know what I think is? I think that Jonathan is stalking my family and he's letting me know.
I think it's an agent of good representing the side of good.
But most likely Jonathan's psychotic friends are stalking me. Stalking me. Stalking me. Stalking me. Please stop stalking me. Stalking.
Influence of alcoholic beverage.
I'm still kind of freaked out that some lady that I don't even know showed up at my mom's house.
I'm telling you, it's an agent.
You know what I think is? I think that Jonathan is stalking my family and he's letting me know.
I think it's an agent of good representing the side of good.
But most likely
Jonathan's stalking her and her family 13 years ago. And in all fairness, she has a lot of mental issues. Like, she really does. She's paranoid schizophrenic. I mean, she has all kinds, a few disorders. Hers is a sad case. But he's no stranger to stalking, is the point. It is sad. All right. Now, I want to play this. So for those of you, again, the person who was just on there was Naomi Riches. That is Jonathan's wife. I wish, oh my gosh, hold on. I need to find a way to play this without playing the, like, seeing the video, because I don't know what the deal is with this video game. But I don't know what that's, or why that's like that. Okay, anyways. So this is Naomi's ex-boyfriend. She dated him after her and Jonathan split up, separated. Okay, but again, still married. There's not any divorce on file, on record. Those two are still married. Okay, but this is what he had to say about Naomi and Jonathan. So it's important that you listen. Okay. I mean, take it with a grain of salt because, you know, he's just telling you his account of it, but it's still something worth listening to because it's just another person who's been privy to JLR behind the screen. Okay. That's gotten information from this person behind the screen or behind the con, if you will. So let's take a listen to what he had to say. I mean, there has to be a way to, hold on, you guys, I'm sorry. This was, oh, and by the way, this video was just made 1 day ago. Okay. And he says this: I deemed this necessary because it is a very confusing and frightening situation. Oh, you know what I can do? I can do this. And that way I can play it and I won't have to watch this dumb screen.
Hi. I find it necessary to make this video because I've gotten like 30 new subscribers in the past couple of days and all these views on my videos. And just want you to know you're going to unsubscribe to me once you realize what this channel is. It's just me playing video games and reviewing movies and stuff. So I wanted to demystify this entire situation because I have videos of Naomi Riches on my channel. And Jonathan Lee Riches is some kind of big YouTuber now, and he committed domestic violence. If you're wondering where Naomi is, she's alive all the time. Like 90% of the time. She is addicted to methamphetamine, and she's a paranoid schizophrenic. She used to have a YouTube channel called Snugglebug861, and she said she was being followed by the government or the Illuminati or, you know, whatever, the shadowy elite.
Now, one thing I will say is, I don't know, for those of you that haven't heard, or I don't know if you have heard or haven't heard, but Go Lightly Life Coach had on 2 of Jonathan's ex-girlfriends, okay? 2 of JLR's ex-girlfriends. Now, it seems that every girlfriend that he got, every girl that he got into a relationship with was literally going through and having a hard time. It was a hard time in their life. They were going through some shit. And it's all, it's like a narcissistic type that he looked for girls that had these issues. He looked for girls maybe because they weren't, maybe because what they were going through, they couldn't see through his bullshit. And he could get this con over on them. He could be something that they thought they needed at that time. You know what I mean? And his wife, Naomi, you hear it. She's a paranoid schizophrenic. She suffers from anxiety and depression. She's, now a meth user. I don't know if she was back then, but her life's just spiraled out of control. We know that there was one point in their relationship where Jonathan himself had her committed against her wishes because he said she purposely ran into traffic. Now that was proven to be false because it was not on camera at all. So that was made up. So he had her committed at that time. I don't know, maybe she made him mad for whatever reason, but that's why these kinds of things are important. These things do tell you little things like this, like the women that they pick, the people that they go after, type people like Jonathan. Look for a certain kind of woman, victim, however you want to say it.
And it had quite a following for a while.
What's happening?
It's called the gang stalking community. It's a niche, the shadowy elite. It had quite a following for a while. It's called the gang stalking community. It's a niche group of people thinking they're being followed around by organized harassment, organized stalking. It's mostly schizophrenic people. There are people that are being monitored by the FBI and stuff like that because they're, associated with criminal activity. But most of these people are just delusions of persecution and delusions of grandiosity. Naomi's family are gangbangers. She's half Mexican, half Jewish. So she's in the system, she's constantly in and out of jail and mental institutions. So she's paranoid. And I do believe she really thought that she was being gang stalked and stuff, but also at the same time, she was being coached by another lady she was in touch with to try to get donations for money. So she kind of embellished everything, said that gang stalkers injected her with HIV and all this crazy shit. So people would send her money. And that's why there's that video of future serial killers, Jonathan Lee Riches and Naomi Palma, horrible people, Illuminati hopefuls. That was made by this German guy that sent her $30,000. Probably thinking that he was going to get some from her or something like that. Because she has that it factor. She used to be very pretty. Drugs have taken their toll on her from the last time I saw her.
Exactly as before, except while I'm in the air, press and hold the action button to make me grab the ledge.
But let's get into Jonathan Lee Riches. Jonathan Lee Riches went to prison for 10 years for stealing like all these people's credit card, like making credit cards in other people's names, and stealing a bunch of money. 10 years because he did like, it was a serious like crime. He had a partner. It wasn't just like a one-time thing. He had a whole operation going. So he was in prison for 10 years. He got out of prison
This is a really big one.
and joined a Facebook group.
Except while I'm in the air, press and hold the action button to make me grab the ledge.
And that's how he met Naomi, in a Facebook group worshiping James Holmes, the Batman shooter, the guy who shot up the Batman Dark Knight Rises movie premiere. That's how they met, at being fans of a mass murderer. And then they got married like right away and moved into Jonathan's mom's house, parents' house in Westchester, Pennsylvania, where Bam Margera's from. And they were only together for 2 months. I guess they're still married. She told me their marriage got annulled, but I guess they're still married, so she has the right to half of his money. And I hope there's some internet sleuths commenting in my comments that they're going to try to get her half the money. And I'd love that. I'd love to see a good ending happen for her, but she's going to spend all the money on drugs. Because people are always constantly trying to help her.
To do a running job exactly.
I mean, when she got together with Jonathan, he got her hair did. He got her all these, he showered her with gifts, everything like that. I did the same thing when I dated her. But that's what she kind of goes through. People like Kleenex. They help her out.
This is a really big one.
She gets a lot of money from them. And then she goes on to someone else after a couple of months. That's her MO. She had nothing bad to say about Jonathan Riches. He didn't abuse her. He just wouldn't sign the divorce papers. She said they weren't even together because they were in love. They had another agenda, which I think they were like scamming together. Because they're both scam artists. And I think that they had like a partnership in scamming, but it just didn't work out. Because I guess she was cheating on him she worked at Zoomies in the mall, like this poser skateboard shop, and she was having sex with all the guys that worked at Zoomies. That's why they broke up. I'm not denying that Jonathan Riches abused the woman he's currently abused by, because I'm a victim of domestic violence myself. Believe it or not, it happens to men. And I know a lot about domestic violence, and there's a type of domestic violence perpetrator that is called an abusive strangler. And if someone has this abusive strangler gene in them, they can be in a relationship and be married to someone for the entirety of their life. And then they could be old people and they can just snap one day and the man will strangle the woman to death. That's what an abusive strangler, domestic violent type is. So I'm in no way denying that he strangled this woman and broke her nose and stuff like that. I guarantee that's true. I'm not, I want to make that very clear. I believe his victim. But as far as Naomi goes, he is not the reason why she is crazy. She always has been crazy. She has paranoid schizophrenia and she's addicted to meth. If she seems normal in some of her videos, it's because she was court ordered to take Risperdal injections, an antipsychotic, and when she's on her antipsychotic, she's normal. And when I was with her the first time, I would drive her to her court-ordered mental health group that she went to every single day. She was getting her injections. She's a well-balanced human being. And then we broke up, and then I saw her a little while later, and she had just gotten out of a mental institution, and that was all the difference in the world. That was all the difference in the world. And I mean, I spent a few years like bailing her out sometimes and still trying to help her, but it was her brother that told.
So here's the thing. He might not have made her crazy. Obviously, she has, she has these things, but he certainly helped feed into her delusions. He certainly didn't help her. They were posting pictures and videos online with knives, he had a knife up to her throat. She had a big ass butcher knife in the shower. Like, I mean, he certainly did not do her any favors. And I do believe that his attraction to her was that she was in a vulnerable state and he could be something she needed at that time, which would make him more valuable to her, if you guys know what I'm saying.
Told me, she doesn't show up to court. You're going to lose your money bailing her out. She can't be helped. But she's still alive. And if you want to try to help her, try to help her. But she uses people. And as far as who Jonathan Riches is, when he was in prison, he made a name for himself because he has a Guinness Book of World Records for the most frivolous lawsuits of anyone in the history of lawsuits. Apparently, he's banned from even suing people anymore. He's sued so many people. He got Naomi in on it too when they were married, and she sued people like Obama and Beyonce and stuff. That's why if you Google her name, that she comes up and suing people too, because he got her in on it. Maybe that was the scam they were talking about of why they were married. And then he was on probation for that, and his probation was violated because when the Sandy Hook shooting happened, he drove from his house in Westchester, Pennsylvania to Sandy Hook, got on the news, and pretended he was the Sandy Hook shooter's brother. You could probably find that if you Google it. He had a whole interview of him like praying and stuff, and like he convinced the media that he was the Sandy Hook shooter's brother. That was probably the seminal moment of him becoming a quote-unquote journalist. He realized he could manipulate the media. I mean, he manipulated the media by all the lawsuits. He manipulated the media by pretending that he was the Sandy Hook guy's brother. And then he got onto YouTube, and literally all he did was buy a hat that says media. He has no media credentials whatsoever. He did not go to journalist school. He did not do anything. I know that he is a big person in the true crime community. And I'm from the punk rock community, and I can tell you something. In every community, there are people out there that are con men and fakers and know nothing about what they are talking about, what they're involved in, even
Right.
No matter how well established, how famous they are. I mean, I knew this guy, Chris Clavin. He was like the leader of my local punk rock community. People followed him like a cult. He was a pedophile, and he knew nothing about punk rock whatsoever. But he was like the leading voice in what they call the DIY folk punk scene. But he was exposed in the same way that Jonathan Riches is being exposed now. He has no credentials whatsoever. He just knows how to manipulate the media, and he won the algorithm lottery. I guess that's really all I have to say. I just want to demystify the entire situation, because there's weird videos on my channel of Naomi, like the Let Them See Satan. That was the last time I saw her. She had shaved her head.
Oh my God.
She was not taking her Risperdal injections. She thought I was Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th.
Oh,
And
Lord.
she even like stole some of my clothes and said it had the blood of a missing girl on it from here in Bloomington. Sent it to the private investigator that her family hired and told them I was responsible for this missing girl. And that's why there's like a video of her like talking about Jonathan Riches having people stalking her at her mom's house. But he broke up with her and moved on, except for he wouldn't divorce her, probably because he's a dick.
Well, I mean, again, not for nothing. And there's no proof of this at this point, but there are talks. And again, this is just talks. And I'm going to go over that clip, though, that specific thing, as soon as there's a little bit more clarification on it, because it's not something I just feel comfortable, like at this point, saying or going over. But there are talks that I don't know how to say this. There are talks that they still have a joint account, and because he's getting certain benefits from, now again, let me just say, everything that I'm saying is alleged. This is just what's being said right now, and there are people right now investigating this and looking for proof of this. But it's being said that he is still collecting disability benefits, and the reason that they still have this joint account with her name on it is because the money he's making off of YouTube is going into that account and not directly under his name. So he's still able, now again, so he's still able to collect certain benefits. But again, I'm not saying that. To me, I question that, actually, only because he has so many enemies, and there's been so many people like after him for years. I feel like if he was committing fraud, I mean, you're talking fraud again. If he was committing this fraud and there was evidence that he was committing this fraud, people would have come out with this sooner, and he would have already been busted for it. So I'm a little skeptical on that, but we'll just have to wait and see. If anything comes of that, I will definitely keep you guys posted and let you know, because that would be wild, right? Okay, if you guys have made it this far with me, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And please consider getting a membership and becoming a member of the CNY family. We would love to have you. Anybody that wants to help us directly, please consider doing so. The links are down in the description below. Let's move forward.
An abuser, but he's not what made her crazy. She is a paranoid schizophrenic addicted to meth, and she broke my heart on Christmas Eve. 2014. So this is kind of opening up old wounds, but yeah, I felt it very necessary to demystify this entire situation.
Okay, so that is the end of that video. All right, let's move on. Now, I had told you his ex-girlfriend, Angela, has called in and spoken on Go Lightly Life Coach channel a few times now. But I want to play this right here because I had not heard this yet. And she is saying this is more scams and cons that Jonathan Lee Riches has done and attempted to do and tried to do since prison. So again, to the people in the back saying, "Oh my gosh, leave him alone. He's a changed man. He's paid his debt. He's done his time. Now he's off to bigger and better things. Leave the guy alone." It's just more proof that prison did not change him. Okay? So let's take a listen to this. And it is sped up. I'm not speeding it up. It was sped up when I found this video. So just letting you guys know that. I know sometimes it's a little annoying when things are sped up like that, but it is what it is. So we'll just have to go with it.
That he did when we first moved in together.
This is Angela speaking.
And I was so fucking embarrassed.
Tell me.
This fool had the nerve to decide that what he was going to do was he was going to start suing people legitimately, and that's how he was going to make a living. He went on to fucking Craigslist and he bought a fucking wheelchair, and he wanted me to push him around in it, and every place that didn't have a wheelchair ramp, he was going to sue them for it. I'm not fucking kidding you. And I was like, I'm not getting involved in any of that, and that is ridiculous and embarrassing.
He bought
a fucking wheelchair off of Craigslist. Yes, he did. And he was going to act like he was fucking disabled. This guy will scam anything that he could scam. I don't know why people don't see this. Did you guys ever notice he has the handicap placard in his fucking car?
Yes.
Okay, because he has mental problems, he uses that. Because he is considered disabled, because he's mental and he gets a disability check.
Okay, see, here is where the whole disability comes back into play, where she says that he has continued to get these checks. I'm not sure, how she knows that he continues to get these checks, but she thinks that he does. Now, again, if that is true, I mean, that's wild, because he is making bukus of money off of YouTube. If they knew that, he would not be able to collect a disability check. It's not how it works. And as a matter of fact, he would have to pay back lots and lots and lots of money, because that is defrauding the government. That is defrauding the state, whatever state is issuing those disability checks. So I know they have people looking into this. So I mean, listen, whatever comes of it, comes of it. If it's not legit, it's not legit. But I mean, that'd be crazy. That would be crazy.
So because of that, he went and applied, and they gave him a fucking handicap placard so he could fucking use that. He would use it all the time when we were together. And I was like, dude, did you ever do anything just like legitimately?
He's unscrupulous.
I'm telling you, he's fucking crazy. He's not all fucking there. His dad looks at him with the worst disgust I've ever fucking seen.
Oh, Tim. Mr. Tim.
Yes. We went to Fogo de Chao with his parents for Thanksgiving dinner. We sat at the table. I sat at the table talking about stuff with his parents, while all he did was run around Fogo de Chao taking selfies.
Aha!
I'm not kidding you. And then his mom said, well, it's not his fault he's like that. He didn't mature right because, you know, his brain hasn't grown right because he was in solitary confinement for 3 years. You know, he was in solitary confinement for a couple of years, right?
No, tell us about it. When was this?
Yeah, he was locked in solitary confinement when he was in prison because he couldn't stay out of fucking trouble.
What kind of trouble was he getting into?
He was he was finding out information. He was doxing the other inmates and talking about their cases and shit.
No, Angela dated him after. So when he got out of prison, he dated this lady who didn't want her identity out there. So they just called her Jane. And then they dated for 2 years. And then he started dating Angela, and they dated, I think she said, almost 3 years. So she's, you know, she knows all this.
To people and, you know, to some of the inmates in there, and it was causing inmates to fight and shit like that. So they were like, this motherfucker's a threat. We're just going to throw him in the fucking, in federal prison, they call it the SHU, the special housing unit, which is like solitary. It's the same thing as solitary confinement. They kept him in there for like 24 months.
I can't.
That's when he started doing all those crazy lawsuits because he didn't have access to anything except pen and paper.
And then he got that shit taken away from him.
And then he tried to starve himself out, and he was on the verge of dying because I guess that was his way of like, you know, being defiant. So he decided to starve himself out. The guy weighed like 115 pounds.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing.
He's literally crazy. He is literally fucking insane. He really is insane. I talked about it with his mother so many times. And
thank God you never got pregnant with this kid.
Oh, fuck no. I was on birth control.
Yeah.
I was on birth control when I was with him anyways. And secondly, I mean, no. And that's the other thing. I actually called, but now this came from someone who knew him before me. Okay. I'm friends with somebody who knew Jonathan back when he was like 17, 18 years old. And in his early 20s, he got a woman in Pennsylvania and Delaware County pregnant. He wouldn't acknowledge the child, and he didn't pay.
Okay. Again, everything is alleged. Okay. Not stating anything is fact. I have no control over what these people are saying. So I'm just saying.
Any child support, and he was arrested for not paying child support in 2001. So I called the Delaware County Courthouse to confirm this, but I couldn't get a hold of anybody. I left a message. But that's where I was going to say, I know that Plunder, I know she's really good at like getting documents and stuff like that. I'm too lazy. I'm just not going to go through all that.
No. That's what she's known for. That's what she's known for.
That's something that she would probably want to look into. I mean, because he does have a child out there somewhere. I'm like positive. It's a grown person now. I don't know if it's a man or a woman that's an adult.
I hope he didn't get the crazy gene. You know, sometimes that shit. But can I ask you a question? Did you ever ask JLR's mom or dad if he was born that way? Or did he, like, when did the mental stuff start? Did she ever say or no? Like, did she always say he was a weird kid or anything like that?
No, she never said that. She never mentioned that to me. When I was at his house and I went through his bedroom and stuff, like, they still had a lot of his stuff, and then he was showing me stuff in their storage area too. I mean, he seemed to be pretty normal. He was a normal kid. He loved sports. Jonathan he was always very into sports. He had a lot of, you know, like sports memorabilia and baseball cards and action figures. And I mean, it seemed like he was kind of just like a typical, you know, like teenage boy. And then he started calling a party line. In his like late teens, maybe like 17 or 18. And then, what happened was the people on the party line, I guess he started fighting with people on the party line. They started doxing each other. They would argue, call each other's families. I know that he was fucking with people too and their families.
But okay, this is what I'm saying. You know, I know points get lost when you play stuff, a bunch of stuff for a period of time. A lot of points get lost, but we have to remember the main points of this story. And one of those main points is that he has been messing with people his entire, like, since he was a teenager, literally meddling in people's lives, messing with people, going real life, doxing people, hurting people, going after people, defrauding people, conning people, scamming people. He has been doing all of these things, and he has no regard for the damage that he's doing, the pain that he's causing, and the cost of what he's doing. He has no empathy or understanding for any of that. I mean, he understands it. He just doesn't care. But yet he's the first person that will jump in and call the cops and send the cops to someone's house because he thinks because he is a victim, because all of a sudden somebody says some stuff he doesn't like and he feels threatened. And look what he's done to people his whole life. That's who he is. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. It's who they are. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand how people don't see it, and how people don't see that he's still that same person.
And then he just got involved with a whole bunch of shit there. Oh, and then that girl that he got involved with. So Jonathan was actually in a relationship with a chick named Stephanie Costley Doyle. That's the one that went to prison with him for the wire fraud.
Really?
And there's records of it. She was a prostitute. He's always just been involved in just all kinds of craziness. And trust me, I didn't know all of this when I got involved with him. I felt so fucking sorry for him. He wasn't on YouTube. He wasn't doing any of this stuff when I connected with him. He was on Facebook. He only had a few friends because he just got out of jail. I had heard about him from someone else, and I was like, oh, yeah, I remember hearing about this dude. He's out of jail. And then he sent me a friend request, and we became Facebook friends. And he would make silly little videos of himself and stuff like that, but he wasn't doing all of this stuff. But yeah, he's definitely behind some of those ransom letters. I fucking know it. And I think that Magnolia and him got into a big fight. I think they got into it for the same fucking reasons that I got into it with him. Because he and I started fighting constantly because I was like, you're getting too... When he made that Chris Watts group and he started, that's when I left. When the Chris Watts thing happened, that's when I left. He made that group. He was so just into that day and fucking night. I couldn't get him to function and do anything else that was like his main concern. He was printing out pictures of Chris Watts and putting out all kinds of he was just doing all kinds of just out there shit. And I was like, dude, you're supposed to be looking for a job or doing something productive because I was working a lot.
Oh my God. By the way, you guys, remember when I do have something to say. Remember when I was telling you guys that a couple of years back, I confronted JLR and I said, yeah, I do know you. You're the one that used to send me those horrible, disgusting emails back in the day during Chris Watts. And they said, oh, I was just messing around. I have looked for those. They're not there. They're not there. And I thought Gmail kept stuff forever. I don't know much about computers. I'm an asshole with computers, but they're not there. Otherwise, I would have showed them. But I would have been afraid to read them on the internet. They were bad.
He created the Facebook group, Chris Watts speculation, or, did he kill Shanann, or blah, 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 blah. I don't even remember what the name of the group was. He invited me into it. He and I were living together in fucking Florida. And then, so I'm in the group. I'm just kind of looking at what's going on. People are talking about it. I'm like, okay, people are just, speculating on what happened. Did he do it or whatever? Then this crazy fucker started going into the group with using the name Mandy Harrell, making different profiles, going in, trolling his own group. And then he was saying, I'm in love with Chris Watts. He was pretending to be a fucking woman, saying he was going to send Chris Watts money. He was in love with Chris Watts. He was claiming to be this chick named Mandy Harrell. I was like, this motherfucker is nuts.
Wow. I've heard that name before.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I accidentally cut you off. I'm tired, so.
No, so am I.
A long fucking day, but. Yes, I don't think that he kidnap anybody. And for Jonathan to hit Magnolia, for him to beat her up and threaten to kill her, this was over something that had to do with his YouTube channel. Because for something to push him that far, it had to do with money, or the one thing that he wants is to be famous so bad. And I think she threatened to come out on him about something.
It said, someone in JLR's chat says Misty Haynes has given him $32,000. Another creator on.
I mean, I'm not pocket watching, but damn, $32,000 from one lady. Now, I know there's a lot of people that think that he is Misty Haynes, that he's like donating all this money to himself just to get other people to donate. Now, a woman has called in and came up on his show or whatever, claiming to be Misty. She is, the person that is Misty Haynes. But the other thing, the other reason why I thought no, that wouldn't make sense would be because when you super chat, YouTube takes 30% of that money. So if he was donating himself, why would he, every time he did that, he was giving up 30%. So I don't think it was him. But this lady is obviously, I mean, she's conned from the floor up. Like, she is just sucked right into this guy.
Are you sure? Or is that just him under a different account giving the money to himself?
That's what someone else has thought?
He does do shit like that.
What?
You remove the mask.
But I
Do not tell me that you are cursed.
What?
He does do shit like that.
Even though YouTube's going to take a cut?
For him, he probably wouldn't care. He's more about like making people think that he's getting all of that money.
So you think he's flexing something, especially if the fact that it's a girl, because this girl's claiming that she is going to go out there. He's Misty. It is Misty Haynes. I don't care. All I know is that she's got a ton of filters.
So when Jonathan and I, when I broke up with him and I fucking left, he started trolling me. I knew it was him though. Okay, so I noticed as soon as I left, not too long after I was gone, I get a message from some chick, like it's in my other messages on Facebook or whatever. And it's some chick and she's just talking shit to me. And she's like, well, she was like, I'm glad it's over between you and Jonathan because we're together and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. But then I saw that Jonathan made a profile of a female, put a bunch of pictures on there, did all this stuff, and then tagged himself as being in a relationship with her. He was the girl. So he was doing all of this for show because I guess he thought he was going to hurt my feelings.
Wow.
And then he would message me just out of the blue, like he was this chick, and be like, you're a fucking alcoholic, you're a bitch, you're this, you're that. And I'm like, So I told him, finally, he stopped. I said, Jonathan, if you keep fucking with me, I'm calling your fucking mom.
You sound like me.
If you, every time you message me, I'm going to add your mom to this fucking group chat because I know it's you. And he did stop.
Is he the type of person to hold a grudge?
Yes.
Okay, so he holds a grudge? Because I was wondering, is he the type to hold a grudge or does he move on to the next pretty quick?
He holds a grudge for a little bit, but not that long.
Okay, and then he moves on.
Yeah, he fucked with me for like a good month, and then after that he was done. But he did fucking troll me for a little bit. And I did notice he does make a lot of Facebook pages and fake profiles and shit like that. He will actually respond to himself and comment on his own shit as someone else. He does stuff like that a lot. So it wouldn't surprise me if this Misty Haynes chick was actually him.
Someone said that they heard her call in and talk to him.
That could just be someone that he said, listen, I'm gonna give you $100. Call in and pretend like it's been you the whole time. He is capable of doing shit like that. He is extremely shady. I don't think that he's ever capable of telling the truth.
I can't believe that this is happening.
I can tell you right now, too. His parents have no idea about any of this shit. Any of it. They don't know that he was arrested for domestic violence. I can assure you of that. He hides all of this. And his parents, unfortunately, his mom is a really good person, but she's the kind that turns a blind eye to him. She just won't go on the internet because she doesn't want to see what he's doing. She knows he's fucked up. And she even asked me one time after lunch, she was like, do you think I'm enabling him? And I told her, to be honest, I really think you do.
Wow. I feel so bad for her. I mean, I can't imagine.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that is wild. Having whole conversations with himself, creating fake accounts, having whole conversations with himself. It's craziness, which I know he did because I found his X account from like 2012. Let's take a look at that. So Jonathan Lee Riches, it's his Johnny Tsunami account. Joined May 2012. But you could see, I mean, I'm not going to go through all these, but all he tweets about is himself. And if somebody else retweets about, or if somebody else mentions him at all, he will retweet it. And then you can tell where he's actually gone through and had full on conversations with himself, pretending to be somebody else. It's crazy. But I'll just scroll down here. Like, he is 100% obsessed with himself, 100% obsessed with fame, wants everybody to know who he is no matter what. Like he said, he wants his name everywhere all the time. When James Holmes writes me, I'm going to frame it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Duck, duck, goose with my lawsuits. I mean, it's insane. And this goes back, 2012. It's crazy. A long time. So if you guys want to go check that out, make sure you go and check out that account. You could you got a long time to sit there and read all that, but it's wild. It is wild. All right, let me get rid of this. Sorry, hold on. Okay. Now let's pull this up. Now, for days since this
was in any of those vehicles.
started and I started digging into JLR, I have one thing that he does not care about Nancy Guthrie at all. He doesn't. This is not about justice for her. This is not about anything except for his name being attached to it. It's big case and him being there day in and day out because he wants that notoriety. He wants that fame. He wants this to be the center of attention. He just does. So I thought it was funny that he just says this the other day. I mean, stop trying to play the victim. I can't take it.
He was in any of those vehicles pulling in. You know what I mean? The ones that went in the garage.
I just want to acknowledge Princeton. Says JLR Carolyn Cosper, Kosper. Is that Cosper? Missing. Get some rest. Thank you for that. I don't know Carolyn Cosper. Who is that?
Where the hell is she from?
I don't know, but there's always people missing. It's crazy. Yeah. And Lisa Fazio, thank you very much. Very grateful for that. Thank you, Lisa Fazio.
Another missing person.
Another missing person, man. These things just keep,
Yeah, they're happening every day, JLR. They're happening all over the place.
It's crazy. How do people just vanish? But this one is like the most craziest thing I've ever encountered in my own life. I can't wrap my head around this.
No,
and this is like eat, sleep, and do everything Nancy Guthrie. That's where my whole entire life has been nothing but Nancy Guthrie for 71 days.
It's like I told you before, I wake up in the morning forgetting that it's, you're behind down there, and I'm like, all right, wake up. What happened?
If I'm not on here talking about Nancy.
No, just to be clear, Twitter started in 2006, but it became more popular in 2007, but it did start in 2000. The first tweet was sent in 2006.
Nancy Guthrie. I'm scouring the net looking for anything in reference to Nancy Guthrie, anything in reference to Annie, Tommaso, Savannah, everything. That's all I'm doing. And that's all some of y'all are doing too. That's all it is. It's nothing like it's rinse and repeat. It's just like whatever. It's really, I don't know, maybe that's why I'm sick, because it's just like, oh man, it's so frustrating.
It could be making you sick.
Yeah, that's what's making him sick. All right. Okay, now I'm going to play this interview. It's funny because probably about 2 weeks ago, I found this interview that JLR had done from 4 years ago. And when I found the video, it literally only had 800 views. So I was like, well, shit, this is not very well known. So I watched it and we watched it live stream and I played it. It now has 3,000 views. So ever since then, all these people have gone and seen this video. But if you have not seen it, we're going to play it here again because it does paint the picture of who Jonathan is, and he is proud of it, and that's never going to change. He does not feel empathy. He does not feel bad for the people that he wronged, the people that he stole identities from, stole money from, the people whose lives he ruined. No regard for that whatsoever. And you see it straight from him. So I'm a big fan of this interview. So I'm going to play some of that for you guys now. Even if you've heard it before, it never hurts to listen again because sometimes you pick up on things you didn't hear the first time. I'm going to ask you guys to please do me a favor. If you're still here, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and consider becoming a member.
Here tonight, live directly from the sweatshop in sunny South Florida, Fat Enzo. My guest tonight is America's
And again,
favorite
yes,
serial
I know the
rapist,
volume
Jonathan
sucks
Lee
on this
Riches.
video. It's
And that's
them,
with a
it's not me,
copyright symbol at the
myself,
end.
all the way. So you're gonna have to adjust your.
Convinced that he is impervious to getting banned on Facebook. He's a content creator under the business name Your Content. Travels all over the country stirring up shit, filming the border down in Texas, various MAGA rallies all throughout the state of Florida, masquerading as Muslims and photobombing Democratic idiot candidates. I know saying idiot and Democrat in the same sentence is redundant, so my apologies. Anyways, let's dive right into the insane mind of Jonathan Riches. Welcome to Bobby Pickles Podcast, baby.
Bobby Pickles, how you
Hell
doing?
yeah. And hold on. Sorry, I don't have my Asian. That's me. Bam.
Love it. Love it.
That's the whole thing. Now we're good. What's up, Jonathan Riches?
Born to Ride 45, baby. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. What's up, man? Welcome to the show. Did you sign the agreement stipulating that you will not sue me if I make you look like an ass on my show?
I won't sue you. I promise.
You swear to God?
I haven't sued nobody in 2 years now. So
2 years?
I'm trying to keep that
Where's my Asian attorney? That stupid bastard. Absent again.
I was the most prolific jailhouse lawyer in the history of the United States of America.
Nice. That's what we want to talk about. That's what I'd like to talk about. Why don't we delve right in? I mean, you are the most litigious man, and this is the most litigious society in the world. So that means I don't want to be an anti-Semite, but are you Jewish?
I'm not Jewish.
Okay,
I'm not Jewish.
Now that we're past that hurdle, so Jonathan,
remember I used to troll as Muslims for Trump, Jews for Trump, Jews for Clinton. Remember I used to troll all those rallies over the years.
Bring me through it, okay? So people that do not know Jonathan Riches, okay? Why do you have such a in-depth Wikipedia page?
All right, so no one on this earth has filed more lawsuits than me. I filed over 9,000 lawsuits in the course of my life in every state, local, federal jurisdiction, probably everywhere, every federal court, every federal court.
In a few minutes, the guy makes him fix his microphone, so it does get a little bit louder.
The feds.
But I know it's rough right now.
21 years old, going to college, making a career. I was in the hacking, freaking scene, HP scene, freaking PHREAK.
What? Okay. What is this?
Hackers.
Hacking. You were a hacker.
Freaker.
You were
phone freaker.
Phone freak.
Yeah. So I was part of 2600 DEF CON. If anyone knows, you probably have some old school listeners. Back in the 90s was these voice BBS systems, chat rooms, telephone chat lines where you could call and you learn about the concepts of how phones work, optiverting phone calls, people exchanging credit card information, everything almost like the Silk Road before Silk Road.
Wow. But it was all done on phones?
All done on phones, baby.
Okay.
And, and then in the early 1994, I got my first computer, my gateway computer came in a cow box. Windows 94, started, on the internet, but it was mostly chat lines and everything like that. So, I was getting hooked up with different cyber gangs. There was these cyber gangs back in the day. And, we used to do nefarious things to one another. We used to SWAT people's homes, send, SWAT to people's homes on bogus 911.
Did you order a bunch of pizzas?
Pizzas, porta potties, everything out of the yellow pages sent to people's houses.
So this is like Jerky Boys on steroids.
Jerky Boys on steroids, but it was crazy because.
But then you also have a lot of people in the network.
Correct. So I learned a lot about the telephones. I learned a lot about credit. I worked for TransUnion, which is one of the 3 major credit bureaus. So I kind of had insight in. I went rogue. I did bad, nefarious things with that, and I went to federal prison. I got indicted for identity theft and fraud, wire fraud. So
how did that happen? All right. So let me.
So we created this concept, phishing. Have you ever heard of phishing? Phishing is PHISHING. Phishing is basically,
it's like the band, but ING.
Yeah. So we spammed out thousands of emails, and to extract personal information.
I mean, can we talk about real quick how absolutely insane it is that, well, I mean, let's look at how many people have been affected by phishing scams, by phishing email scams since they started. Look it up how many victims that is. That is a ton. Now, knowing that him and his group of people created and started these, every single one that was affected essentially was at the hands of him and his group of friends, and he is not ashamed of it whatsoever. He is proud, like he's certainly not ashamed of it. It's crazy. Okay.
From people, and people believed, for instance, steroids. But it was crazy because
But then you also have a lot of people in the network.
Correct. So I learned a lot about the telephones. I learned a lot about credit. I myself, I worked for TransUnion, which everything like troll as Muslims for Trump, Jews for Trump, Jews for Clinton. Remember, I used to troll all those rallies over the years.
Bring me through it, okay? So people that do not know Jonathan Riches,
and not only that, but he used to swat people. And as he's telling you that he used to swat people, he's got this smile on his face. See, it's not something he's ashamed of. It's something that he thinks is funny. Do you know how dangerous it is to swat someone's home? Do you know how many people could be injured, shot, killed? And he is doing it for shits and giggles because it is fun to him. He does not care about the other human beings. He does not care about the effect that he has on someone else's life. And that says more than anything else could, in my opinion.
Okay, why do you have such a in-depth Wikipedia page?
All right, so no one on this earth has filed more lawsuits than me. I filed over 9,000 lawsuits in the course of my life in every state, local, federal jurisdiction, probably everywhere, every federal court, every federal court, you'll see a lawsuit in my name. I was incarcerated in the feds. Feds caught me. I was 21 years old, going to college, making a career. I was in the hacking, freaking scene, HP scene, freaking PHREAK.
What? Okay. What is this?
Hackers.
Hacking. You were a hacker.
Freaker.
You were
phone freaker.
Phone freak.
Yeah. So I was part of 2600 DEF CON. If anyone knows, you probably have some old school listeners. Back in the 90s was these voice BBS systems, chat rooms, telephone chat lines where you could call and you learn about the concepts of how phones work, optiverting phone calls, people exchanging credit card information, everything almost like the Silk Road before Silk Road.
Wow, but it was all done on phones?
All done on phones, baby.
Okay.
And and then in the early 1994, I got my first computer, my gateway computer came in a cow box. Windows 94, started, on the internet, but it was mostly chat lines and everything like that. So, I was getting hooked up with different cyber gangs. There was these cyber gangs back in the day. And, we used to do nefarious things to one another. We used to SWAT people's homes, send, SWAT to people's homes on bogus 911.
Did you order a bunch of pizzas?
Pizzas, porta potties, everything out of the yellow pages sent to people's houses.
So this is like Jerky Boys on steroids.
Jerky Boys on steroids, but it was crazy because.
But then you also have a lot of people in the network.
Correct. So I learned a lot about the telephones. I learned a lot about credit. I myself, I worked for TransUnion, which is one of the 3 major credit bureaus. So I kind of had insight in. I went rogue. I did bad, nefarious things with that, and I went to federal prison. I got indicted for identity theft and fraud, wire fraud. So
how did that happen? Like, what? All right, so let me.
So we created
okay.
this concept phishing. Have you ever heard of phishing? Phishing is phishing. Phishing is basically,
It's like the band, but ing.
Yeah. So we spammed out thousands of emails, and to extract personal information from people. And people believed, for instance, we were claiming we were AOL, and we would send out spam emails to hundreds of thousands of AOL customers saying, this is AOL, there's a problem with your account. In order to maintain your account, please submit your billing information, blah, 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 on a form. And people would submit a social security number, credit card, blah, blah, blah. So, we took that information, ill-gotten gains, did a lot of fraud, bought a lot of materialistic things. I'm 21, highballing, bought a house, multiple cars.
Now, were you working like at a telemarketing, like boiler room kind of situation?
No, I mean, I was.
Or you were just doing this on your own, out of your
On my
house?
own with a network of like we had a crew across the country. Everyone lived in different states, guys and girls.
Wow.
And then the big indictment came down. One day, I used to go into banks with, fake IDs. We had an ID, we had a PVC printer. We were making driver's licenses and credit cards, and we would go into banks, and I would, get account, wipe out people's accounts. So one time, I guess the feds were watching me in the act because someone told on me in Texas, and they were watching me, and then they swooped in on me when I was coming out of the bank. They swooped me up, shipped me to Texas on an indictment, and next thing I know, I get 125 months in federal prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release.
Wow.
5 years of supervised release, baby. That's 15 years of my life incarcerated.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Wow, from 21 till 21. I'm really bad at math.
Well,
36.
By the time I went through the process, but 35, because I lost all my good time in prison, so I didn't get no good time. I didn't federal system. You don't get no parole. You do 87% of your time if you behave. But it took me a while to behave.
So how did that happen? That so they came down on you. They were the feds doing like an investigation for a long time into this?
Well, there was an individual out in Texas. He lived in Houston, Texas. He was doing something unrelated. He was he was using people's credit cards and sending large like electronics to like houses, UPS to to people's houses, and then picking them up. So he got caught unrelated. He could have took the rap for what he did, but then he told the feds, "Hey, I know another guy that's doing something bigger in Florida, whatever like that," and drew the feds over to us.
Isn't that always what happened?
Always what happens, baby.
I mean, 100%.
I just saw.
I would say that too.
Were with another FBI guy, FBI informant, Enrique Tarrio.
Oh, yeah, hanging out with him tonight. Mike Flynn. Great
Isn't
guy.
that? Wait, but hold on. Let me find the Enrique picture. Let me share that. He's so.
Yeah, I would go as far as to say, yeah, that sounds like something he would do. Well, see, that's the thing, guys. And this is what so many people don't understand. You cannot teach empathy. You can't. Either someone has it or they don't. He literally doesn't have the capability of empathy. He doesn't empathize with others. And that's what's really crazy, because he's in true crime pretending to be an advocate, pretending to care. And it couldn't be more freaking opposite. And people don't even see it. They don't. They don't see it. And it's crazy.
Where is that? Oh, God. It's going to take me forever to find it.
But so I get sent to Texas. It's crazy about how the federal system works, and Donald Trump was right about the DOJ corrupt to a core, right? I back the blue 100%, right? I respect law enforcement. I got law enforcement on my side of the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the federal government and the DOJ, they're corrupt to a core.
I'm showing the picture of you and the other Fed. Two Feds together. So that seems to be the thing, though. Once they get one person, they get the other person, right? They get you to rat somebody else out, then you rat somebody else out.
I didn't
et cetera, right?
The good thing about me is I didn't cooperate. Everyone told on me, and I was the one that got sentenced to the most time, 125 months. Had no prior criminal record of any violence or nothing crazy. White collar guy, come from a good family. I just did cyber stuff or whatever. And it was a shock to me. It was a shock.
And that's another thing too, the whole Magnolia thing. What pisses me off about his supporters, right? What pisses me off is that they don't even have, like, they don't even question it. They do not even question whether he did it or not. It's like they don't even care. And not only that, but it's like I said to this lady the other day, I'm like, look, I'm not going to try to convince you of anything. You think what you want to think. Ugh, hold on. But I'm like, you think what you want to think, but because some people, you cannot convince them of something that they just refuse to see, that they even refuse to see. But I was like, listen, lady, you're out here defending JLR, fighting for JLR, claiming he's innocent and going against anybody that says otherwise. When, lady, he don't even know who you are. He does not even know your name. And you're out here defending him. Never once, guys, never once has he said he was innocent. Never once did he say that he was innocent in all of this. Never once did he say that he did not lay a hand on her. So all these people that are out there, standing up for him and defending him, he's never even defended himself from these allegations. How are they so sure? He's never claimed his innocence. How are they so sure he's innocent? Like, they're literally blindly just doing this. And it's sickening. It is sickening. It's like, wow. Wow.
Because, when I pled guilty, which I did, there's federal sentencing guidelines. You do a pre-sentence investigation, they, background on you, whatever like that. My guidelines were like 3 years, right? So I said, all right, I'll do, 3 years is fine. But then going in front of a federal judge was just so pissed off about, all the thousands of victims that we did and everything like that. She enhanced me. Federal judge appointed by Bill Clinton, by the way. Clinton appointee Democratic judge gave me 125 months in prison. It was shocked. I was listening, like when she put the gavel down, I said 125. I almost threw up. I was sick, but then I was mad. I was like, F this. I'm gonna fight back. So as soon as I went to a federal penitentiary. I didn't go to no cupcake camp. I didn't go to no Fed, sweet place, whatever like that. They sent me to a penitentiary. So I went to Coleman, Beaumont.
Where is that?
Coleman, Florida is a federal complex in Central Florida. It's up by the Villages. Whatever, it's a complex, but they have penitentiary there, and they have low, medium, and high. But they sent me right to the high, so then they throw me in with like crazy people, big time drug dealers and everything like that. So I didn't really fit in. But
when you first got there,
it was a culture shock. It was a cultural shock. The very first time I went in, your unit.
You're fucking 21 or so.
21, but then the very first time I went in there, I saw the Aryan Brotherhood like stab somebody up the very first day I was there. Like I just heard this guy getting stabbed up on the top floor, and they threw him off the tier. He's screaming, no guards are around. And I'm like, what the heck? What did I get into? Like, what world is this? Whatever, like that. And then, I had to keep my guard up a little bit and whatever. I didn't click up or nobody. I wasn't with like no gang or nothing. You know what I mean? I was just a soloist, and I'm always a soloist. Went right to the law library and tried to fight my case.
So you just kind of like just stay out of everybody's way and stuff, kind of just keep your.
If you keep in federal.
You had friends and stuff like that. Come on, I saw Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
Come on, man. 15 years. What?
You hold yourself.
You created a full life inside of there.
You respect. You don't go over anyone's boundaries. You don't get into homosexuality. You don't gamble. You're fine. And I had to fight a couple times. I held my own a couple times. I got my ass kicked one time. You don't take no shit from nobody. So I went to the law library and started fighting my case because I thought my case was like crazy. I was also sentenced in Texas. They don't play in Texas.
Because it's federal, so it's numerous states.
So I had a lot of grounds for appeal. I started learning the law library, learning the law, putting together an appeal. Appealed my case, but it got rubber stamped denied, and appealed it to the Supreme Court. Didn't want to hear it, whatnot. they came back when I filed my appeal, and they came back with the word frivolous. This is frivolous, right? So that pissed me off. That got me real. I said, okay, you want to see some frivolous stuff. So then I just started wailing out lawsuits. Wailing, I started suing people. And
Yeah.
that's where my whole suing.
Do me a favor. Just move your seat in a little. Do you think you can move your seat in?
Absolutely.
Try that. And then that should put you perfectly in the spot. So it's like right under you.
Absolutely.
I just want to make sure that we're getting the best absolute.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then maybe tilt it up a little bit. Tilt that up. That right there. Yeah. Perfect.
Good. Perfect.
Yeah.
Mic check.
So all right, so you're in the system. You just got in there, right? And then now you go to the law library, and now you're starting to look into your case. Because oh my god! By the way, can I can we like share some shit? We have some stuff in common. I don't have no federal thing, but I did get a felony when I was 18 years old. Okay, a non-violent, non-sexual, drug unrelated felony.
Nice.
And it fucked up my whole life, man. My whole life I had to go to job interviews, and like the first thing I had to do was tell that, I learned how to like overcome that by immediately saying it, hey, is this the type of company that will take a chance on somebody like me? And then usually 9 times out of 10 they will. But and I also did a little bit of phone slamming as well. I was I worked for like a boiler room telemarketing place, and we were flipping people's carriers over. We said we were from this pro call.
It's bizarre. It's like he has this capability to tell people things and convince people of things, and they don't even check into it. Like he did when he pretended to be Adam Lanza's uncle. Like people didn't even fact check it. They just went with the story. Like he does with these people, like he does with his viewers. It's like, it's crazy. It's like people don't see past this veil that he's put up, and I don't get it, because I knew the first time I ever saw this guy, and I didn't know nothing about him. I just saw a stream of his that there was something off about the guy, that I knew, that I was like, yeah, I don't like this guy. Like there's just something, he's not real. You know what I mean? Like he's totally fake to me. But some people just legit like cannot see it, and I don't understand it.
Pro call was the name of was the fictitious
yeah
telephone company calling, and we would switch you over to pro call, and then by the time you found out that you went from AT&T to this other company, you already had like a month of charges.
Nice.
It was called phone slamming.
Phone slam. I had to Google.
So I was doing that. I did that a little bit. So I understand, man, being young and getting caught up in this craziness, but then you had the whole cyber aspect to it and stuff. So did you know how to code and stuff, or did you just like, enough from like the MySpace era, that kind of stuff?
Way before the MySpace era. These were, again, they were called
this is how what year was this?
Mid-90s, early 90s.
Mid-90s.
Yeah, so these were voice chat rooms. So you basically use your telephone, and the 1 through 9, each one holds a room, and you can.
So you're a little older than me. I graduated
44.
98. I graduated.
I graduated in 94.
Yeah. Okay. So you're like right out of high school.
Right out of, well, I was doing it probably in 89, 90 when I was like a really young kid.
Oh, the volume sucks.
You get involved with the chat rooms. It's like a whole fantasy world. But man, these cyber gangs, they click up and they do some really nefarious things.
Chats on the using the computer though too.
Well, the computers came in and enhanced it. But before, with telephones, it was very dangerous, because you could literally like SWAT somebody's house. You could opt-divert your call, make your call appear anywhere you want, because back in the day it was these baby bells. All the phone companies were baby bells. So you basically had Bell Atlantic, you had Ameritech, you had Southwestern Bell, you had Pac Bell, and you can jump around to switches. They're called 5ESS switches, and you could jump around and make your calls appear anywhere. So basically, is I could call an FBI building all day long and laugh and say, trace me, and they'll never be able to find me. Back in the day, it was that legit. And probably now they can do it, because these things now.
You guys just figured out these like little workaround things. Why do those things exist in the phone system?
It's just how it was. I mean,
do they use it like in government maybe, and you just like found out what they use or something? Like,
a freak.
Is it
going
kind
back
of
to
like
a
that
phone
A
freaker
B
is
A
trying-
B select start kind of thing? Like
Correct. And it's a phone freaker is trying to find the fundamentals and concepts how a telephone works. The switches.
a
behind-
phone freaker.
Yeah, it's a freaker. Phreaker. Freaker.
Just like the fish.
Yes. So
Why do you guys replace the F with the PH all the time?
it's kind of edgy. I think it kind of sounds edgy, whatever like that. So there'd be these hacker conferences, DEF CON, which is the you might hear it now. It's called the Black Hat Conference. It's held in Vegas every year, but it used to be called DEF CON. And like-minded individuals used to go once a year and they all would hang out. And it would be like a convention. They would exchange codes. You could.
This
information,
interview was 4 years
databases,
ago.
There's a lot of things going on back then. Behind the scenes.
Sorry for being a tech nerd. Just make sure that that's not rubbing too much. The wire isn't rubbing too much on your vest there.
No,
because then that might interfere.
But yeah, then we would like you in a cyberglang.
And the importance of this video is so people can see and hear him talk about things he's done. And you can clearly see how he feels about the things that he's done. That's the whole takeaway from this.
Gangs, and we would click up and then we would do some bad things to people, each other, and it was crazy. Like, some guys got some notoriety out of it. If you ever heard of the blind hacker, Google him. He's the blind hacker. He's the one they swatted over 500 people. They're the first people to SWAT. So when you hear swatting, it's basically is you're manipulating the 911 system. You're calling into 911 and making the 911 call appear from someone's home. And then you're saying I'll call and say my wife is holding a gun to someone's head in the house. Hurry, 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 hurry.
Oh
So
my
swatting
God.
house.
Wow.
Basically, the police come to the house and they could be just in there minding their
Nefarious jerky boy
business, and
antics.
the cops just barge into their house, and there's been some instances. It's dangerous because some people got killed over that in recent years. But we were doing it a long, long time ago. We were almost 20 years ago.
Oh my God.
Like that.
And so they lock your ass up in federal prison.
So I went to federal prison for the fraud and everything like that.
Because you took somebody's identification somehow?
Yeah, we were making IDs, driver's licenses. We had a private investigating database, so we could get everyone's social, DOB, driver's license number, duplicate on driver's license, and then get credit. Basically, in-store credit, people's credit cards, anything. Buy cars, get cars off the lot. Anything you want to.
Did you do that?
I did do that. Yeah.
You got cars right off the lot?
Multiple cars back in the day. Yeah.
Oh my God.
The feds took it though under the 1987 Money Laundering Control Act. They swiped me clean. See, that was tough. That's why I got 125 also, because I didn't have money to get an attorney, because the feds, when they swooped in, they just
You can use your imagination, I'm sure.
And took everything from me. So I had literally no money.
But until then, did you accumulate money? Like you were just accumulating?
I had $865,000 in a safe when the feds took it. $865,000. They reported that it was only $40,000 that was found.
Wow.
So imagine that. Where'd that money go?
Oh my God. Well, at least you didn't get the charge, right? Of that much money?
Well,
was it a less charge?
What's crazy about
yeah, there is.
Here's the thing is they got
it's awful.
So I'm charged with wire fraud. So if you look on the criminal statutes, wire fraud is 0 to 30 years. That's a broad.
The identification somehow?
Yeah, we were making IDs, driver's licenses. We had a private investigating database, so we could get everyone's social, DOB, driver's license number, duplicate on driver's license, and then get credit. Basically, in-store credit, people's credit cards, anything. Buy cars, get cars off the lot. Anything you want to.
Did you do that?
I did do that. Yeah.
You got cars right off the lot?
Multiple cars back in the day. Yeah.
Oh my God.
See him smile and laugh about this.
Control Act, they swiped me clean.
I mean, he's laughing about it. He's smiling about it. He's taking joy in that he did it. And not caring about the person on the other end who had to go through everything they went through because their identity was stolen, because their credit was, in the toilet now. All the things that changed their life and affected them. No remorse whatsoever for any of his victims. That is the real Jonathan Lee Riches. the devil behind the screen, the one that you don't see, the man behind the cons.
That's why I got 125 also, because I didn't have money to get an attorney, because the feds, when they swooped in, they just like basically raided all my homes, took everything, like, you know, and took everything from me. So I had literally no money.
But until then, did you accumulate money? Like you were just
I had
accumulating.
I had $865,000 in a safe when the feds took it. 865,000. They reported that it was only $40,000 that was found.
Wow.
So imagine that. Where'd that money go?
Oh my God. Well, at least you didn't get the charge, right? Of that much money.
Well,
was it a less charge?
What's crazy about the feds is here's the thing is they got statutes, right? So I'm charged with wire fraud. So if you look on the criminal statutes, wire fraud is 0 to 30 years. That's a broad statute. So you can get anywhere between 0 and 30 years. Now, what they determine on is a base level for fraud, which is it's federal sentencing guidelines, which Joe Biden created, by the way, because he was head of the Senate Judiciary Committee in the 90s. They were the founding fathers of the federal sentencing guidelines. So the federal sentencing guidelines, you know, does a fraud amount like based on how much you take, right? But they also factor in intended loss. So, for instance, you know, I pled guilty only to stealing $250 with a wire transfer with Western Union using a fraudulent ID. That is the only thing I pled guilty to. So, normally that would be base level 6. You get a couple years for that, right? The PSI comes around and says I'm a ringleader of an international identity theft ring with $1.6 million in fraud damages. And therefore, since I pled guilty and waived my rights, I can't challenge that. And I get sentenced as if I took $1.6 million. That wasn't proven by a jury. That's crazy. And a lot of people, that's the federal sentencing guidelines. It's not just white collar crime. It's those crack cocaine laws that, you know, thousands of African Americans got put in prison in the 90s, you know, a mass incarceration for having a little bit of crack cocaine. But when you're in part of a conspiracy, they're trying to say, even though you only had a little bit of crack cocaine, if everyone in your conspiracy, you're liable for everybody's stuff. Therefore, you know, it shoots you through the roof, and all these African Americans were getting 20, 30 years in prison, you know, and that's pretty much, you know, why Biden destroyed communities. I mean, more or less, because thousands of African Americans were taken out of their homes, taken away from their kids.
He does have borderline personality. He was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder.
So you go
He's
in,
supposed to be on
and then
medication for that.
now,
Like,
somehow,
you know, so he does
you get
have this,
into okay,
you know,
like,
this
while you're in
issue.
prison, does somebody teach you
It's
how
a
to
thing.
sue
Like he
people
can't.
or
He's
something?
just
Like, how does
not
Again,
an empathetic person. He
I went
can't
in and
be.
tried to challenge my own case.
Yeah.
Got shot down. They
Yeah.
tried to say it was
He is.
frivolous, so at
He
that
is
point, I was
100% a
so
narcissist.
mad that I already got 125 months in jail, and I thought, all right, it's time to retaliate. It's time to retaliate and boggle these courts down, waste their time, and submit frivolous shit all day long, 24/7.
Why does your mind work like this?
Well, you know, over the
Because it's that same mind is what put you into the prison system.
correct. It was, you know, it was a void to fill.
It still
time.
exists, that mind, right?
A lot of times people go to prison, they find something they do. Like you have,
You're doing
you
it
know,
now in
awesome
the MAGA
artwork.
movement as
Yeah.
well.
You have awesome artwork here, right? You got cool. Some people go to jail as artists. Some go and play a musical. Some play sports, whatever like that. My thing was suing people. That was my void. That was my way to escape. That was my way to get a reaction out of people, because, you know, when you sue somebody, that's taken seriously, no matter how frivolous it is. You know, the other party has to respond, you know, and it's an actual proceeding, you know, and the judge hears sides. So you sue an individual, no matter how frivolous it is, whatever, that person has to lawyer up, or they have to, you know, respond to your suit, or they could lose in default, no matter how frivolous it is. So, you know, you're almost like controlling I'm behind bars, and I'm like, you know, just like targeting anybody. Like,
You still have power.
You have power.
Even though you were taken out of society, right? Through litigation, you still had some semblance of power.
Correct.
In society.
Yeah.
Right?
It was almost like,
and apparently even the Guinness Book of World Records tried to give you the title of most litigious man, and you even sued them. Isn't that correct?
Yes, sued them for, you know, yeah, that's interesting. So the Guinness Book of World Records said, you know, they said, you have a record, you know, at that point I was like at 5,000 suits or something like that, 5,000 lawsuits. And they were like, you know, we want to include you in the book. whatever like that. So I sued them to stop, from them publishing me. Sue them. So
Why though? Why would you? But I know
I
that
was just being
it's funny.
hog
It's
and
funny that you did that.
yeah,
But did they end up publishing you in there or what?
they did not. They actually changed their mind at that point because they had to respond to my suit. Because when you respond to a suit, the people got to spend like 15, 20, $30,000 of their own money defending themselves with a lawyer. You got to lawyer up.
All right. So
And not only that, but see, then I used the lawsuit as a weapon, right? You can really do damage to somebody with the lawsuit.
let's back up for a second. You're in the law library. You're in the prison law library.
Learning every trick.
What's the prison law library
It's
like?
computerized.
It is.
It is computerized on LexisNexis.
LexisNexis.
Yes. So you don't have the internet, but you do have LexisNexis, which has case law, and
Which is the law system, yeah.
And you can see other people's cases, emulate people's style. Use case law, shepherdize, which means cross-reference cases, whatnot. See other people's claims.
That's insane. So when you go to prison
all day long.
When you go to prison though, you have access to all of that. Like you can be working on your case and
wake up
doing it yourself.
When I wasn't in the hole, and the prison wasn't retaliating against me, I used to get up every morning and run 10 miles in the rec yard, then hit the law library up all day, and then go to bed. I'm tired, go to sleep, repeat it. So
10 miles?
10 miles every day. Swamp's thin. I eat a lot. I'm thin. Got fast metabolism.
That's still from those days?
Yeah, but even when I was in the hole, I used to run back and forth in the cell, a little tiny cell, whatever like that. But accumulating lawsuits, right? So I used to not only have I filed lawsuits, but I would help inmates too. I would help inmates file lawsuits.
But I want to know first how you figured it out. Were you sitting there one day before you did the first lawsuit? Okay, bring me back to that time. Was there some old man there who knew how to do lawsuits? Who a
lot of guys are hustlers.
How did you learn how to do it the first time you did it?
So you see certain individuals, like you said, like the Andy Dufresne at Shawshank, whatever.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Knows the knowledge, right? So there's always like an old school dude that does law.
Who is that guy for you?
Keith Russell Judd. He's an interesting individual. Google him. Keith Russell Judd. He actually ran for president while he was in prison. He was on the Democratic ticket.
Say it again, Keith.
Keith Russell Judd.
Okay.
Judd. So he's an interesting character, right? So he ran for president while he was in prison. He actually was on the Democratic ticket in some of the states. And in West Virginia, he got more votes than Barack Obama in 2008. More votes than Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
So he's
American convicted criminal and perennial candidate for political office. His nicknames include Dark Priest and Mr. MTR?
Yeah, I don't.
President. He claims to have run for president of the United States in every election since 1996.
Interesting guy.
That guy right there, that was somebody who was like a mentor. He was he in your prison?
Yeah, he was in my prison. Another one was in 1996. There was a group of individuals, a group of sovereign citizens called Montana Freemen, right? And they were from Jordan, Montana, and they tried to create their own. They called their town Just Us Township, like Just Us Township. They did not believe in currency. They UCC sovereign citizen movement. They believe everything is titleized. They don't believe you can accept for value everything like that. All our names are bonded, whatever like that. I followed the concept. I don't necessarily believe it, but they were doing.
I've had a sovereign citizen on the show before.
Yeah, so they were doing a lot of.
But so
these guys
were they all like arrested and went to prison at once? This whole Just Us.
Yes, in 1996, they were charged with overthrowing the government.
And they got sent to your prison?
Yes, they were there. Dale Jacoby was their leader, and he kind of I want to say he took me under the wing, but I gravitated towards him and learned a lot about, filing UCC1 filing statements, copywriting, as you see a copyright next to my name, about the copywriting concept. So he was an interesting guy because, those guys would go real hardcore. Those guys would, contact the Secretary of State. They know how to put liens on people's property, so they were putting liens on the warden's property and the assistant warden, and They were just there were some vicious.
Oh, and then that's where you started learning it.
Started learning about the law with that. My own injustice got me so pissed off at the system. Like I was literally, you know, just like, how do I get back? How do I get back? And I just wanted to waste their time. I wanted to flood the courts with nonsense because they would have to hear every single bit of every lawsuit that I got, you know. And it was successful. It was successful. And I would pick a court and I would flood the court. I would like know how it works. What I mean is like basically is you could get a piece of toilet paper and write on it, plaintiff, defendant, I want $10 million, blah, 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 sign your name, and the courts have to, if you submit the courts, they have to dock it and file it. They have to dock it and file it. So I could sue Charmin on a piece of toilet paper, and Charmin will have to Charmin will be sued. It will be docket as a real lawsuit. I mean, the courts have to accept anything. They have to accept anything. The clerk of court is not the gate. It's not the person that determines whether something gets filed or not. What I mean is it's not their determination. Their job is to docket the case and give it to a judge. So you can submit anything you want to any court anywhere, and they usually have to take it without a filing fee. They'll docket and try to charge you later, you know, with a filing fee. But if you don't have the money and you claim you're indigent, hey, they'll have to file it. And that's what they've been doing. So I kind of manipulated the system and understand it. So I would put like 10 lawsuits. Like I had guys, you know, in jail that would give me stamps and stuff like that, you know, to send out lawsuits. And I would put 10 lawsuits into one envelope, and they get 10 different docket numbers, you know, and one stamp, you know, and half pieces of paper, you know. Sometimes I would, you know, you get six pieces of paper per one stamp. I could fold up the piece of paper in thirds. So that's 18 lawsuits on one stamp and send it out to the courts in one envelope. You know what I mean? And the clerk of court would have to docket every single one of them, you know? So at that point, the judges were just so pissed off. And then they would actually try to ban me, you know, try to have some excuse. And I would just jump to another court and do the same thing and jump to another court and jump to another court, you know? So these lawsuits just started accumulating. And I would sue anybody. I would just read my USA Today paper at the time when I'm in jail, because you only get like Wall Street Journal, USA Today. And I would say, all right, I'm going to sue this celebrity. I'll start suing celebrities. I have nothing to do with, you know, never met them before in my life, and just sue them for anything and say anything. Like Michael Vick. Michael Vick was in the news, you know, for the dog fighting and whatever like that. I just said, I'm going to sue Michael Vick and say he stole my pit bulls. And then, you know, he sold them to Iran and got missiles, you know, just say crazy stuff. And you know, but I learned as suing celebrities, newspapers were picking up on that, and I would get my own publicity and my own notoriety for suing people. So, you know, fans and different media outlets while I'm in jail start sending me letters. Hey, we want to talk to you. And I kind of got like aroused by that, you know, like, oh, cool, I'm getting attention, whatever like that. So I just keep pounding, you know, sue Barry Bonds, and, you know, said sue him for stealing my steroids, sue Martha Stewart and say, you know, she whatever did with my bedding, you know, like she soiled all over my bedding, or saying, you know, pissed all over my bedding, or, you know, crazy stuff about anybody.
Did you guys hear that?
You know, I said I was the founder of Microsoft. He stole my idea. You know, anybody can say anything. Like Michael Vick. Michael Vick was in the news, you know, for the dog fighting and whatever like that. I just said, I'm gonna sue Michael Vick and say he stole my pit bulls, and then, you know, he sold them to Iran and got missiles, you know, just,
I mean, that's what does it for him. The attention, the notoriety.
I learned as suing celebrities.
Yes, that is what
up on that, and I would get my own
does it for him.
Notoriety for suing people.
That's mental, guys.
So,
that's,
you know,
that's sick.
Fans and different media outlets while I'm in jail start sending me letters. Hey, we want to talk to you. And I kind of got like aroused by that, you know, like, oh, cool, I'm getting attention, whatever like that. So I just keep pounding, you know, sue Barry Bonds, and, you know, said sue him for stealing my steroids, sue Martha Stewart and say, you know, she whatever did with my bedding, you know, like she soiled all over my bedding, or saying, you know, pissed all over my bedding, or, you know, crazy stuff about anybody, you know, Bill Gates, you know, I said I was the founder of Microsoft. He stole my idea. You know, anybody, you know, just I was taking celebrities and hip hop art. I said 50 Cent, all his lyrics in the club was mine. That was my idea. You know what I mean? I said Mike Tyson sued him. I said he bit me in the ear in a bar. You know what I mean? I was a bar and he just bit my ear, you know, and I seek $10 million for emotional distress, you know, and all these celebrities get sued.
I mean,
you know, I said Michael, I said Allen Iverson. I said I taught him how, you know, how to play basketball, and then he stole.
Not for nothing, but you got somebody who's got 500,000 subscribers, and YouTube makes 30% of everything he makes. So YouTube makes a lot of money off him.
my basketball, whatever like that. So they have to hire lawyers in some of them, and then their lawyers claim this guy, my client, like Iverson, never met me before in his life, whatever, but I'm probably in their heads too.
Have you won money?
I have.
You have?
I have won money before in lawsuits.
Oh my God.
Kraft cheese for food poisoning.
So it's not all frivolous though. 99.9% of it is.
You always can find a lawsuit. There's ambulance shoppers. You always can shop around and find a lawsuit. And that's what I did. So I was on that time filing lawsuits, helping people file lawsuits. In jail, I was starting to get a respect among the inmates because at the same time, I was like, F the system, challenge anytime, like in prison, like once a year, a new warden will come into town and try to act all tough and say, hey, we're going to take away the TVs or the microwaves or something like that. So we would like stage protests and stuff like that. And I'd be like the ringleader of it or whatever like that. So over time, the prison would retaliate.
So you would get into politics there.
Politics, yes. Over time, the prison would retaliate against me and ship me around on diesel therapy to different prisons around the country. Like, next thing I know, they're telling me pack up and send me out to Victorville, California, the pen out there, which is in the middle of the Mojave Desert. Then they'll send me to Florence, Colorado. I went to Florence, Colorado at the ADX with all the terrorists that we see on the news, like Terry Nichols, Richard Reed.
I know he does think he thinks yeah, you're on national TV. I know it's wild.
Terrorists, Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber.
You're like, bro, what reality are you living in?
Retaliation for filing lawsuits, whatever like that. I went on hunger strikes. They force fed me. They used to strap me in chairs and force feed me. Because when I put my mind into something, I just go ham, man. I go hard. And, I would, there was times where I went on multiple hunger strikes. And when I say hunger strikes, I'm talking like I would lose like 50 pounds and they would literally have to strap me in a gurney and roll me into medical and stick like NG tubes down my throat and force feed me. And I said, I'm dying for the cause. You either going to give me what I want or you're going to take me out in a body bag, and go ham. And I learned that was a weapon too. If anyone that doesn't like their prison sentence and goes to jail, go on a hunger strike because you can get immediate results. They will give you what you
want.
He
says.
Besides suicide, that's like.
He says, "Oh, I didn't get any fights. I kept to myself. I minded my own business. That's what got me through prison." And I said, "Yeah, we all saw what you did with that Coke bottle. That's what got you through prison. That's what protected you through prison."
Nightmare because you waste so much of their resources in jail on a hunger strike because Borough Prisons policy is if you go on a hunger strike, the associate warden has to be present, the chief clinical director of the medical has to be present, they have to have a SWAT team present, they have to roll you up, strap you in a chair, cell extract you from a cell, roll you into a medical, force feed you, and then keep you there for 2 hours to make sure you digest properly and roll you back. Then they got to do all the paperwork and everything like that. You're wasting hours of their time just on one person. Imagine if everybody went on hunger strike.
I believe he was in.
Yeah. Listen, you have a.
I could have swore it was. Well, he did time in Pennsylvania for calling in a bomb threat. Now, this was according to Angela, but he went to Pennsylvania prison for calling in a bomb threat to a mall. And he also called two women that worked at a store. I did a video about it. I can't think of the name of the store right this minute, but he called these women at the store and threatened to slit and they were like really afraid. Like he called them numerous times and they were so afraid that they had to go and get a order of protection against him. So, I mean, that's crazy. It is evilness. It is darkness for sure. But so he did that, and then he was in Lexington, Kentucky. And then he was in another prison. So it's all on his Wikipedia, I believe.
Crazy Wikipedia page. I mean,
so
is this real?
It is real. So
it is
over the time, I eventually did my time. I lost all my good time, got out of prison in 2012. 2012, got out of prison. I served the entire 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I just jumped into trolling at that point, right? That's when I
Can I read a little bit of this for a second?
Go ahead.
Jonathan Lee Riches, born December 27th, 1976, is a former federal prisoner, inmate number 40948-018, known for the many lawsuits he has filed in various United States district courts. Riches was incarcerated at Federal Medical Center, Lexington, Kentucky, for wire fraud under the terms of a plea bargain. His release date was April 30th, 2012. He was arrested violating his federal probation in December 2012 when he left the Eastern District of the state of Pennsylvania without permission. He allegedly drove to Connecticut and impersonated the uncle of Adam Lanza, the shooter in the Sandy Hook Elementary School incident. You
Sorry about that. I was muted. Talking to myself. So Asian Beachum with the 199 super chat. If JLR calls him baby one more time. Thank you so much for your support. And Tracy Hughes with the $3 super sticker. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it. Greatly appreciated. Well, I got this pause. Can you guys do me a big favor and take a moment, if you have not already done so, to please hit that like button and please subscribe to the channel and consider becoming a member and joining the CNY family. We would love to have you. Anybody that wants to help us directly, you can do so in the description below. We appreciate all of your continued support.
son of a bitch.
That's fake news, right? This is how, no, I'm saying this, I exploited fake news. So when I got out of prison, I started going to Facebook and start hanging around with conspiracy theorists a little bit. I'm still in politics. I'm filing lawsuits against Obama and all that. But Sandy Hook happens. Sandy Hook happens. First James Holmes happened in Aurora, Colorado. So, you know, it's interesting with James Holmes' case because the day, you know, the guy that shot up the movie theater in Aurora, Colorado.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. With the pink hair or something.
Yeah. So I went to his, I went out there and went to his arraignment, but I put a dress on and a wig, you know, and then when he got arraigned, I was like, you know, I stood up and I just said, he's part of the Illuminati. This is a, you know, and this is a government conspiracy, false flag, MK Ultra, you know,
Now, wait a second. You don't believe any of this? You're just saying it?
I'm just making a scene. And then the judge kicks me out, whatever like that.
I feel like you just terrorize everything. Like everybody. No, but that's what you do.
Yeah, kind of.
You love terrorizing people.
Wreck havoc a little bit. So Sandy Hook happened. So I, as soon as Sandy Hook happened, I got in my car, went right up to Sandy Hook. So when Sandy Hook happened, you know, there was a makeshift memorial of the victims that they put at the school. Tons of media was out there, whatever like that. And I said, well, let me see if I control the media a little bit, right? So I saw the memorial for the victims. I got
Sandy Hook happened.
And then I was crying.
And he took the opportunity to go down there and make it, you know, draw attention to himself. Like, he feeds off of tragedies. He needs them to happen for himself to be relevant. And that's clear as day. He's not there because he cares about anybody. He's there to keep himself relevant. And people need to see that.
Like fake news reporters, you know, New York Times and New York Daily News Post and Huffington Post and those idiots, you know, they start flashing, you know, their cameras in my face. Hey, you're very emotional here. What's going on? And I just winged it. I said, my name is Jonathan Lanza. I am the uncle of the shooter. I'm here to pay respect to the victims. And they're like, what? You know what I mean? What? And next thing I know, I'm like surrounded by by people like a press conference, and they believed me. I was the uncle of the shooter without any fact checking, without any identification, whatever like that. And I just winged it. I said, I was just with Adam Lanza 2 days ago at a barbecue. I can't believe he did this. We're distraught.
Yeah,
He was having emotional problem. He was on FANAP. I said he was on FANAP. Psych medications that caused him. The next thing you know, InfoWars and everybody's putting stories out that he was on FANAP because it came through me. Like it came out the BS lie. But that was like the start of fake news, showing that these people are fake because these sources and.
But what you even see too is that, and look at right behind you. If you see right behind you, it says 9/11 was inside job behind you. Move your head like this for 2 seconds. You see it. Boom.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed too that some stuff, like for instance, capital stuff, like is fictitious when it comes to like whatever Alex Jones was reporting, kind of, and you see even those are manipulated. Like even InfoWars is manipulated. All the media is manipulated. Even the alternative media is manipulated, isn't it?
Exactly.
And you know how to do it.
Yeah, man. And it was crazy because then I got violated because I left the state without permission. I went and I was on federal supervised release.
So they found out that you had
I was all over
because you're on the news.
I was all over the news as the uncle shooter, and somebody got wind and contacted the probation officer. Next thing you know, they come and swoop me up and send me back to prison, whatever like that. Judge wasn't happy. They gave me like 30 months for a violation.
What?
30 months.
Really?
So they were like,
so then you went back? You went back?
I went back for 30 months. Yeah, they were saying, no, you made mockery out of a tragedy, a national tragedy, whatever like that. But at that point, I was under like a low security. I was in Fort Dix, which was just like a camp.
What did your parents think of this when you? I mean, at that point, do you have siblings?
I do. I have a sister and my parents, right? So,
were they disappointed in all this?
Yeah, I probably made poor choices. I really was just going reckless and radical with stuff. And when I say this, I don't say this to like brag or boost or anything like that. I'm just saying about my own life experience.
Yeah, this is your life.
Because I'm on a different time now.
I know. We're gonna talk about it now. We're gonna talk about it, how your life is now.
But at that point, but see here's the problem. Here's what I think was the problem with me. You know what I mean? Being incarcerated, being solitary confinement, going gun ho, and then just with no halfway house or nothing, just being thrown on the streets, whatever like that. After being incarcerated through my entire 20s, whatever like that, I didn't know how to adjust. I really didn't know how to adjust to society, and wanted to try to make a name for myself.
Did you feel robbed?
He's been diagnosed with
of your 20s.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they ship you the borough prison.
Borderline personality disorder.
Away from your family, they take away my good time.
That's the time that you could be finding a wife and having kids,
a wife, build a career.
Yeah,
establish relationships, professional relationships, and everything like that.
All that just because you were playing around on the internet.
All about internet stuff, nonviolent crime, whatever like that. And we could jump topics about how that works too, because at the time the feds are putting tons and tons of African Americans in prison, but they also have to offset that by putting Caucasians in prison to make it look like they're fair. So some Caucasians get the brunt end of the bad end of the stick and get a lot of time. And they get a lot of time. And I guess I fell victim to that because I should have got a couple years.
So you think you're blaming it on that you're white?
Well, I mean, I believe there's a quota. I believe there's a quota in the federal bureau of prisons, in the way they sentence. They have to make it look even. So, I think my numbers, like, it's all opinion. I don't have no proof of that. It's just my thoughts.
Yeah.
Whatever like that.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
So, going back to prison on my violation, then I was like, all right, so now I start using the lawsuits again. Like I sued so many people at this point. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to sue people as other people. And what I mean by that is like, you know how to manipulate the news. So like I would sue like Britney Spears, but I would sue Britney Spears as Kevin Federline. Remember Federline, her boy from Babies, but as her brother. So I would sue Christopher Federline versus Spears, because on the dockets, it would be like Federline versus Spears. And all the media will see that and they'll think Federline versus Spears. What's up with that? And then, I would pretend I'm Federline's brother, and say, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. Or I would sue, like I sued Rihanna as Chris Brown. I sued, Selena Gomez as Justin Bieber's father, and sue people, celebrities. I would just sue like celebrities as other celebrities.
And this is between the years of
2012 to 15.
To 15.
Oh,
Where you're just on a suing spree.
Just on a suing spree.
Suing.
I wrote a book.
Yes, you did write a book. You wrote a book entitled, hold on, let me see it. It is
Nothing.
Damn it. Where the hell
is written
is it? What's it called?
Nothing is written in stone. Nothing is written.
Oh, comes now the plaintiff?
Yes,
Is that
I
it?
did. We're going over
Selected
we're going over
lawsuits and
something.
poems.
That's some chucklehead that just took some of my lawsuits that were on the PACER system, because you can go on the federal PACER system and see all the lawsuits anyone files, whatever like that. I'm looking on PACER right now, seeing all the capital people, seeing how they're being charged and what they're being charged for, whatever like that. But you can go on the PACER system. So somebody went on the PACER system on me and just started plucking up lawsuits and put it together in a book and sold a book. And they can legally do that because according.
So what was the book you wrote?
Nothing is written in stone. It was basically.
Well, as I had said earlier, yes, he did write a book. It's called Nothing is Written in Stone. But also, he's got a collection of lawsuits and poetry that he had written that he sells on Amazon. You can buy it on Kindle for $9.99 if you want to go that route. Whatever floats your boat,
A little small autobiography of myself, some poems, and then lawsuits. Some of my funniest lawsuits. Because when I sue people, it's more like an entertainment. Looking at it out from an outside perspective, people kind of chuckle and laugh with some of the allegations that I say in some lawsuits.
It takes like a writing skill to file lawsuits? It does?
I think so, because I'm a writer now.
Yeah,
I work for
I am too.
now. Yeah, absolutely. And it
Look at
kind of
man.
gives
Look,
me
see?
nice.
Bachelor of Arts in English, University of Florida.
That's what hard work gets you. That's where hard work gets you.
That's right.
Yeah. So suing people.
But it does. But I understand. Listen,
art,
I
I
have pretended to be an attorney before.
Have you?
Yes, I set up like an entire website and stuff. I mean, I'm not going to completely admit to, things. This is all just in jest, anyway. But I've created characters. Azrael Schumacher, the super, or Picklesheimer. Bobby Picklesheimer is another pseudonym I have. But anyway,
call me the lawsuit Zeus.
The
litigator crusader, the Patrick Ewing of suing.
What I like using it for, those are awesome, man.
Yeah.
What I like using it for is I don't like paying an attorney all the time to, number one, do trademarks and all those things like that. You can do those on your own. Sending cease and desist shit, stuff like that. You're not going to call an attorney and have them do that. You're going to send it yourself and you're going to look like an attorney, right? Yeah. And it is effective. It's just as effective.
Some states you can sue somebody and be your own processor and serve them the suit that you understand that filed against.
Now, can I go over my case, because I know you're an attorney, and I want to just consult you for a second because I know you know so much about litigating. Okay. By the way, why is there another Jonathan Riches who is actually a litigator?
Yeah, he's out of Goldwater.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, he used to work in the.
Why is that? How is that? That has nothing to do with you.
Nope, he's from Arizona.
That's just randomly that's like that.
Pissed off when he Googles his own name and sees that I overtook
but
his name.
Why is his name and he's a litigator and you are a litigator? How the hell did that happen?
Yeah,
you didn't just take that and
then my name is
create an entire false persona based on some random person.
No, this
in the
guy,
Goldwater Institute. No,
I troll this guy though. Sometimes I see him on Twitter. I go, "Hey, are you that guy that files the frivolous suits?" I troll him all the time and stuff like that. So. He's someone's different entity. I don't know what his deal is.
Okay, so Jim Carrey stole my name, and this is what happened basically. Okay, my last name is Piccirillo, Robert Piccirillo. That's why I go by Bobby Pickles, and I've been doing the podcast since 2009. And December 9th, 2009. That was the first one.
12 years.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, and I was on a reality show in 2013, America's Worst Tattoos. Okay, and I got a tattoo cover up. Nice. And while I was getting a cover up, I pulled out all my shit and I did the podcast with the tattooer, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think that they kind of like got this idea from that because good artists copy, great artists steal. I don't know if it's too close or what, but here's the thing. All right, then I have the show. The show that you're on right now is Bobby Pickles Podcast, and the plural is after the S. You put the apostrophe after the S. Yeah. Okay. They put. So Jim Carrey goes by a guy named Jeffrey Piccirillo, goes by Jeff Pickles, and he has a show called Mr. Pickles Puppet Time. And it has a
Pickles is just a funny name.
I know, but it has alliteration. No, man, the whole Picarillo Pickles thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's never been done before.
No.
And I did it first. And I actually have a trademark. I trademarked it and everything like that. But what do you think? Like, yeah, do you think?
Well, I mean, yeah,
now, how close is this? So they didn't take the first name. You know, they used a different first name, but they used Jeffrey Picarillo, Jeff Pickles, and then Mr. Pickles Puppet Time.
Yeah.
And then I'm Bobby Pickles, right? Bobby Pickles Podcast. And it's all the same way where it's B's and P's and stuff, right? And an apostrophe after the S, the same way. And that Picarillo Pickles thing. And then on top of it, here's another thing to add insult to injury, really. If you want to know the truth, these guys are repeat offenders because they did the same thing as production company. It's it's a Showtime show called Kidding, okay? The whole show, particular show that he does, it's based on a false character, which I think is based partially on me. Okay. At least they get the name and everything like that from me somehow because I was doing the podcast and I was on this reality show. And the thing came out after.
Yeah.
Afterwards, they came out with the show, right? But it's also based on like Mr. Rogers. It's Mr. Rogers and me mixed together. And if you know, good artists copy, great artists steal. So you could picture some shitty writer out in Hollywood who's not very creative, who sees a podcast, Bobby Pickles Podcast, and knows that the name is Picarillo. I put right in the description the podcast of Robert Picarillo, aka Bobby Pickles. And they could have easily taken that, twisted it around, and they did the same thing on another show to Pauly Shore. Pauly Shore, all about the comedy store and stuff. Jim Carrey, his whole character is based on that, like Pauly's family owning that and everything like that. And Pauly was even on a podcast talking about it, how it was so eerily similar to his life. So I really feel like that production company that Jim Carrey is working with to develop these Showtime shows, all they do is they just rip people off.
So my philosophy is when you sue somebody, you actually sue not knowing
Am I just paranoid?
Well, I sue people sometimes knowing that I'm not going to win, but that's not the objective here. The objective is to boggle them down, waste their time, and financially drain them. So, for instance,
well, I don't play any of his content, so I'm not worried about that.
Pennsylvania is my birthplace. Pennsylvania, when you sue somebody in Pennsylvania, if you lose, you do not have to pay their attorney fees. Some states you do. The losing party actually has to pay the plaintiff's attorney fees. The defendant.
I hope you don't mind me smoking weed.
No, you can do it. So what I would do if I was in your shoes is, like, Pennsylvania has 40, 50, 60 motions. The lawyer charges the client.
Why don't I just really sue him, like, legit?
Well, if you sue him legit, you won't win. So you would either have to try to find a lawyer.
He's giving legal advice here.
Or
he's a jailhouse lawyer.
Vengeance.
For what?
Vengeful thinking.
For vengeance?
Yeah. That's how I would do it. But legitimately, of course, you got copyright claims and you got trademark violations and you got stole property, intellectual property.
Right? Don't you think I have something like those two things are kind of weird. And when you put in, listen, the name Picarillo, by the way, there's a whole list of 100 most common Italian American names. It's not on that list. All right. And
okay, so I will say this. There are how many people in the world have committed fraud? How many people? Identity theft is a thing. People have done. He's not the only person in the world to ever do this, I guess is what I'm saying. But it's just the thing that bothers me is I hate to see people being sucked in by nonsense. You know what I mean? Like, if you know about the guy and you're like, okay, I know all about him, I don't trust him, whatever, but it is what it is. Like, that's what, like, knowing is one thing, but it's the people that blindly just don't know. And I feel like, that's, I just don't think that's right. You know what I mean? I don't think that's right to take advantage of people, to lie to people, to con people, but people do. People get conned every day. JLR's not the worst person in the world for doing this. That's not at all what I'm saying. But it's the fact that he has no remorse for anything he's done. He has no, empathy or compassion or even an understanding of what the people went through, what the victims of his went through financially in their life. Like, it could destroy lives. And he just has no care in the world for that. It's that, and it's the fact that, like I said, people are so sucked into him, they don't see what's right there. And, he may not be committing fraud. He may not be doing what he was doing back then, but he got right out of prison and impersonated somebody. Every tragedy he makes Facebook accounts. He does all kinds of things. He puts out misinformation on purpose in cases just because he knows there are people who will believe it and will spread it around. He literally says that from his own mouth. There's no shame in his game. And he has written, as we went over earlier, he has literally pretended to be victims and sent in statements to an actual real life case. Like, he's done a lot of dangerous shit. And why people think all of a sudden that's just gone is crazy to me. It's like, how do you see how do you not see what's right in front of you?
And it's pronounced Piccirillo. The double C is a cha.
Nice.
Okay, but why? Our family Americanized it. How many families Americanized it? Now there's two things too. I could show that I was on the show and stuff like that, and so somebody must have saw that, right?
Well,
I mean, it's fucking weird. So you take your.
So where they
didn't take both names. They didn't take both names, but they took that whole Piccirillo Pickles paradigm, which I use in a podcast, and then Bobby Pickles podcast, Mr. Pickles Puppet Time. Nice. Isn't that fucking close?
Yeah.
It's retarded. I mean, I don't know. And I've asked a couple different people about this, but you're the perfect person to ask about.
Have you contacted a lawyer?
No, I haven't really. No, I'm an idiot. I haven't.
No, but you not
because I just felt like it was like it was like a lost kid. Exactly. Like, I thought that they would have their Hollywood, right? I mean, I don't have the money to.
Now, keep in mind,
I don't think
your podcast grows and gets bigger, they might sue you trying to say
that. I thought, what I was thinking? I would love for them to do that. That would be the best thing that could possibly happen. I would love for them to do that.
Yeah.
That would be the greatest thing ever. I would be like, wow, you guys really.
And I've been sued myself.
Huh?
I've been sued myself. So.
No, I would win that. If they sued me, I'd win it. Definitely. But I have the trademark.
Were they out of California?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so if you sue them, you would have to actually sue them in their.
Can I pay you for help?
It's interesting because I haven't filed a lawsuit in.
Do you want to be an attorney at some level?
Not anymore. I'm on politics now. I'm on nationalism. Proud American. That's the time I'm on now. So I shifted away from lawsuits probably about 3-4 years ago. Though I do use them sometimes. Like today, I stayed in a hotel down there in Deerfield Beach, and Expedia advertised the hotel as continental breakfast, whatever like that. And then I go and there's no continental breakfast this morning, and then they're trying to blame it on COVID, and then I contact Expedia saying your advertisement.
Now, I want people too to think about this as well, because I know there's a lot of people that don't. There's a lot of people that question Magnolia and her allegations. I know there's a lot of people that say, well, why would he just all of a sudden become abusive? Now, she said that it was along a 2-year period. A 2-year period that it started, but it's hard to think of the right words and the right way to say this, but he had come so far from, from YouTube at the point where him and Magnolia came together. He had grown so much on YouTube already. And you never know, to have somebody threaten something, or to have somebody, like, if there's even a chance that he thought that she could take him down one one way or the other, I'm just saying it probably causes a very toxic relationship, which we know that he was keep making videos of her, and he was according to her, blackmailing her with these and threatening her with these, and just total narcissistic behavior.
Clearly says, continental breakfast, and I said, this is false advertisement. I want my money back. I'm gonna take you in a small claims court here in Broward County, or what county? Yeah, it was in Broward County. I'm gonna take you to small claims court, blah blah blah, and then they eventually give me my money back because they didn't want to deal with it. But I'll use that if I have to. But I haven't really sued anybody lately.
But you did want to be an attorney at one point?
I could have helped, yeah. And
we're gonna get to the calls, but she actually does say that, like, she genuinely felt bad. She's like, I know he's got this disorder, this personality disorder, so I know he's got issues, and it's probably just that, like, she felt, she loved the guy. She actually, felt bad for him, and, was trying to be like, oh, well, it's not him, it's his illness, and, just kind of dealing with it. It's like a new it's kind of like a normal, like, it just becomes a part of your existence together.
Legitimately, because I met a lot of interesting people and friends in prison.
You have to write
that
it
got
as
life sentences. I got friends in prison that are serving life sentences for nonviolent crimes, and they deserve to get out. They deserve to get out, and they can't. They got no remedy. So I would like to help them. I like to help people that are incarcerated or a long time.
Tell me about the Muslim photo bomb, the Clinton.
Yeah. So when I got out of prison, when I got out of prison after the violation is 16, whatever, or 15, or whatever like that, I started gravitating towards politics hardcore.
So Trump
comes into play, and I'm fascinated from the beginning.
Really
fascinated.
But look at this guy. This guy is a federal convict. He's been causing trouble all over for the majority of his life. And then but how is that good for Trump that he tracks us deplorables,
Hey,
because we all have like shady pasts in some way, kind of.
Well, I just think the media just was like just demonizing them and everything like that, and I was like, well, I can relate to
but are we good examples?
News and everything.
Yeah,
absolutely. Whatever like that. So Clinton started having rallies, across particularly Pennsylvania, because that was a battleground state. So every rally that she had, I dressed as a Mexican, I dressed as a Muslim, I dressed as a trans dude, for Clinton. When I was a Muslim for Clinton, the campaign saw me and was like, hey, come with us. And they put me directly in back of Hillary Clinton, as a Muslim, for a photo op, because, the Muslims love Hillary, whatever like that, and I used to troll them, man. I used to troll all these people, Clinton, everything like that. But I got Clinton one time because I dressed as a Muslim, had a black kufi on, and then I got up front. They put me up front. And then when he was making his rounds for his handshakes after his rally, that's when I shook his hand. I was like, Bill Clinton, you're a rapist. Alhamdulillah, like that, and I spoke Muslim. I saw Inshallah, and
what is that?
Alhamdulillah, I don't know, it's a Muslim term.
I'm gonna show some of the pictures right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
I'm going through.
And I would go to Trump rallies too, and I would have fun at Trump rallies too. At first, I was kind of trolling around at Trump rallies, even though I'm pro-Trump. I was going around as like Muslims for Trump.
Were you?
Remember the post?
But people just are you a?
They believe.
Okay, are you a just a compulsive liar?
No, I just.
Are you a sociopath?
See, I had my followings and my followers online. And they were like, "Hey, troll this, do this, whatever." Like
I say sociopath, yes.
Kind of at the time, you know what I mean. I'm still.
You're still a troll.
I am, but I'm really ingrained in my belief system. Now.
You're on
You know,
Facebook and you say that you cannot be kicked off Facebook, right? Is that the claim you make?
I called a band a month ago for the first time in 10 months. I had somebody that worked at one of the call centers there. The call center, so Facebook has these like they outsource different call centers to do their moderating and whatnot. So there was a company in Tampa called Kozinick, I can't say it right, and it was a call center. I had a friend that worked in there. So from probably like May of last year, I could post anything I want on Facebook, and I would not get banned because he rigged it. They can rig it. The employees can rig it there, make your account unbannable. You won't catch no ban. You will have content removed, but you won't catch the ban.
Really?
Yes. They can.
Now, how did you do that?
That company 2 months ago folded, or they not the company, but Facebook didn't renew their contract. So all the employees there no longer work there. So now I don't have the connect anymore. And then coincidentally, a week after he loses his job, I catch a 30-day ban.
Oh, so you had an insider.
So I'm back on the bans.
You had an insider.
I had an insider. And
Because there's a lot of people in, like, you live in St. Petersburg now, is that right?
Yeah, Tampa area.
Tampa area, right? And aren't there some Facebook employees out there?
Yeah, the call center's there.
The call center's there. So you
I had a friend.
you scummed your way in there at some point. Yep. That's what happened.
A Trump supporter that works for the company. They do hire Trump supporters.
Yes, they do, but they kind of like stay on the down low though a little bit, right?
I think so. I think he's a little discreet about it, whatever like that. Because Tampa.
Did he lose his job?
No, they
didn't with the
Yeah, so they got different call centers. A lot of them are in San Antonio right now. They're called different names. I don't know them offhand. There's like 6 or 7 different companies, whatever. But any of us could.
Now you don't have your shield.
I don't have my shield anymore. But
now you're screwed.
Yeah.
Now listen, I've already been kicked off. I've been kicked off Facebook, kicked off everything. Twitter, everything, basically, Instagram. Yep.
But, now,
get ready. That's what's gonna happen.
Hey, I'm ready.
Yep.
I'm ready.
What's crazy to me is, if you commit wire fraud and, everything that they did, that him and his group did, if you commit these kind of crimes through online and things like that, like when you get out of, you should not be able to, have access to the same tools that you manipulated in the first place to commit the crimes that you went to prison for, if you catch my drift.
But, I love political rallies. I love Trump. And that's all I do right now is Trump.
I know. That's where I met you. I've seen you at numerous political rallies. You're out here tonight for, Mike Flynn at the Trump 45.
I actually went to Flynn's trial when he was in Washington, D.C., when he was going through his court proceedings. I was out front. There. And actually was taking on Antifa because Antifa was trying to crash his court hearings and everything.
Really?
Yeah, Antifa, him and Manafort, him and Papadopoulos, they all went through the same Barrett building, the federal courthouse in Washington, D.C. All those guys got indicted in Washington, D.C. Well, I was in Philly. I used to go down all the time and sit out there, and support them, whatever, outside the court.
I'm sharing the picture right now of you guys.
Yeah. But, I've been to Charlottesville. I've been to all 3 D.C. rallies,
You were at the Capitol?
I was in the Capitol. I was in
Did
Portland.
you go in the inside?
I did not. I was on the outside.
All right.
I was on the outside, but the feds contacted me about it.
Yeah, what'd they say? Who'd you give up?
Antifa that don't like me because I dox Antifa all the time. That's what I do online is try to, expose Antifa. They made false reports and try to say certain.
So I'm going to end this part here to get rid of this because the rest is just about different rallies he attended, Black Lives Matter, all these rallies, okay? I mean, if you can watch that video and not see who he is, like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. All right, let's move on. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Okay. I'm going to play the calls from the beginning. We've played the two separate ones in different videos, but I'm going to put them both. I'm going to put them all together and include them in this live. So everything is right here in this live. Okay. So again, full credit for these these call videos, these dispatch videos. Full credit to Plunder True Crime on YouTube. I mean, she gets all the paperwork, she gets all the FOIAs. I mean, she knows her business. So make sure you go and subscribe to her. I'm using fair use for commentary purposes. Again, full credit to Plunder True Crime on YouTube.
We were domestic partners living at that address I just gave you. And over Christmas, we were in Washington State, and he assaulted me, broke my nose. And there's a criminal case, a felony second-degree assault and domestic violence case with the prosecutor in Chelan County, Washington.
It's fine.
So he's pending charges on that, and that's what this is. That's what this order was relating to. But also, my second question, this was obviously not the first assault.
I had a client who got out of the shower this morning to see law enforcement leaving his driveway. Nothing was left on his door. He said that an officer was getting back into his vehicle when he had a towel still wrapped around him. It's about 6:30 a.m. this morning. He's hung around.
And I wanted to ask about, am I able to press charges against him or file police reports for incidents that happened previously, that happened there in Pasco County? For example, there was a very vicious assault in August. And at the time, well, I didn't press charges at the time. Because he threatened me if I called the police and all that. But I just wanted to know if I'm able to go back and file charges at this point for the prior assaults that happened there in your jurisdiction.
Friday, January 23, 2000.
Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. I got it in the wrong order. 1 second. $123. $123. Give me 1 second, you guys. Sorry. Give me 1 second. I want to pull up the right video. For crying out loud. Wouldn't make sense if they were in order. Okay, we're going to play this one here. Okay, so this is the first one, guys. Sorry about that. Let me share this one. Then we'll go back to that. We'll do it in order. This is the one on Christmas. The one that started this whole deal.
Hi, hold on 1 second. Let me look.
Are you still there?
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. What's the location?
Okay, it's All Seasons River Inn.
Is there?
And it's 8751 Icicle Road.
Thank you very much for that. Is there a specific unit number?
It's the Shenandoah room.
Which one's that one?
Well, it's not a number. It's like a little Airbnb with a few different units, and mine is called the Shenandoah.
Okay.
You just go in the front door and then come up the stairs.
What's going on?
Well, I had a fight with my boyfriend last night, and he hurt me and left and took my phone. And I don't know where he is, so I'm stuck here.
What did he do?
What's that?
You said he hurt you? What did he do?
Yes, my nose. He hit me, and my nose is hurt.
Is it actively bleeding right now?
It was bleeding earlier. This happened last night, and then he left, and I went to bed. And now I don't know where he is, and he took my phone. So this is his phone that I'm calling you from. He has two phones, and this is his second phone.
Okay,
well, left here, so I'm calling you on that phone.
That's fine. Let me have someone contact you there. What is your name?
Jamie, Jaime.
Jamie, what's your last name?
Phillips, Phillips.
And what's your date of birth, Jamie?
11/1/76. I'm sorry for calling 911. I didn't know what to call.
This is perfect. This is what you needed to call. What is his name?
Well, I don't know anyone around here. Like, we live in Florida, so we're just here for Christmas. And so I don't have a car and I don't have a phone. All I know is I'm stuck here now against my will, basically. This is kidnapping, if you ask me.
Jamie, let me get some more information from you, and I have someone contact you. What is his name?
His name?
Yeah.
Jonathan.
What's his last name?
Riches. His last name is Riches, Riches. Date of birth, 12/27/76.
And what kind of vehicle did he leave in?
He's in a white Jeep Compass, and I don't know the tag number because it's a rental car. We got it from Seattle Airport on Monday.
Any idea where he'd go?
What's that?
Any idea where he would go?
Well, I tried texting him and telling him to bring my phone back, and he said he started denying that he even took my phone at all. And then he said, I don't want your phone. I'm taking it to the sheriff's department. And I said, I need my phone. Bring my phone back. And he was like, well, you stole my phone. And I was like, no, you left your phone here. And anyway, so he started saying that he doesn't want my phone. I don't want your phone. And he was like, I'm 100 miles away from you now. So I honestly don't know where he is. He said, I'm 100 miles away from you now.
Well, I will have someone contact you a little bit. Would you also like an ambulance to look at your nose?
What's that?
Would you like an ambulance? Medical attention for your nose?
Yeah, I think I need to get it looked at.
Okay. We'll have someone contact you in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and let you go. If something changes, Jamie, if he shows back up, you need to call 911 immediately, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I'll let you go. You're welcome. Bye.
Okay, now let's get out of there. Hold on. And okay, now we can play. Now we can go back to this one. That's the one it is. All right, perfect. Welcome. So glad to have you. Thanks for coming in. Please do me a favor, guys. You're still with me 3 hours in, or if you're just getting here, please hit that like button if you have not already done so, and subscribe to the channel, and consider becoming a member of the CNY family. We would love to have you.
And 26, 12, 55, and 41 seconds.
Assaulted me, broke my nose, and there's a criminal case, a felony second-degree assault and domestic violence case with the prosecutor in Chelan County, Washington. So he's pending charges on that, and that's what this is. That's what this order was relating to. But also, my second question, this was obviously not the first assault.
I had a client who got out of the shower this morning to see law enforcement leaving his driveway. Nothing was left on his door. He said that an officer was getting back into his vehicle when he had a towel still wrapped around him. It's about 6:30 a.m. this morning. He's hung around.
And I wanted to ask about, am I able to press charges against him or file police reports for incidents that happened previously that happened there in Pasco County? For example, there was a very vicious assault in August. And at the time, well, I didn't press charges at the time. Because he threatened me if I called the police and all that. But I just wanted to know if I'm able to go back and file charges at this point for the prior assaults that happened there in your jurisdiction.
Friday, January 23, 2026, 12:55 and 41 seconds.
Communications, how may I help you?
Hi, yes. I was calling to inquire about an order of protection that would have been sent to the Pasco County Sheriff to be served. And I'm trying to figure out if that's been served yet. And then I had a separate question after that.
Okay, what's the address out there?
The address of the service
Correct.
would be Baxley Lane. It's Baxley Lane. And it's Port Richey.
Perfect. And repeat that address just for verification.
Baxley Lane, Port Richey, 34668.
And the phone number you're calling from?
My number is
and
this
phone
is
number for verification as well.
yes.
And your first and last name? Just spell your last name for me, Jamie. Perfect. And who was the injunction being served to?
The respondent is
And what
So
was
I
the
had
question?
Well, and I was just going to let you know, so this order, it's an ex parte order of protection that I got in my new location in Garland County, Arkansas. And it was filed, it was granted by the judge on the 21st, so Wednesday the 21st, in Garland County Circuit Court. So I know they had to send it to Pasco County to be served, and I just don't know how to check on if it's been served or not. But my other question is, so this is relating to, so we were domestic partners living at that address I just gave you, and over Christmas we were in Washington State, and he assaulted me, broke my nose, and there's a criminal case, a felony second-degree assault and domestic violence case with the prosecutor in Chelan County, Washington. So he's pending charges on that, and that's what this order was relating to. But also, my second question, this was obviously not the first assault. And I wanted to ask about, am I able to press charges against him or file police reports for incidents that happened previously that happened there in Pasco County? For example, there was a very vicious assault in August. And at the time, well, I didn't press charges at the time because he threatened me if I called the police and all that. But I just wanted to know if I'm able to go back and file charges at this point for the prior assaults that happened there in your jurisdiction.
I'll go ahead and I'll send the call over to our desk officers for you. They're going to give you a call back. When they do, it's going to come from a blocked private or restricted phone number. They typically call back within the hour. I do have both of those questions on the call, so they'll know exactly what you're wanting as soon as they reach out to you. Okay?
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Thank you so much.
Of course. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I know, New York, the same. Sorry. Oh, man, I'm so freaking head cold. But yeah.
Friday, January 23, 2026, 14:12 and 05 seconds.
Communication.
Hi there. My name is. I'm an attorney up in Washington State. This is a non-emergency. I had a client who got out of the shower this morning to see law enforcement leaving his driveway. Nothing was left on his door. He said that an officer was getting back into his vehicle when he had a towel still wrapped around him. It's about 6:30 a.m. this morning. He's hung around the house. Nobody came back. I have a matter that we're expecting maybe service on, and I just wanted to coordinate with somebody on getting back to him or getting whatever you guys need resolved.
Okay, do you happen to have the address that this was regarding?
I do.
Okay, go ahead with it.
The physical address is Baxley, Baxley Lane in Port Richey.
Okay. And you said this was about 6:30 this morning?
That's what he said, yep.
So I'm looking around the area here. I don't see a call here for 6:30 in the area.
Okay. If it was process service, would it be listed on your sheet there?
So that would be a separate number. I can give you their number to maybe see if that was them that was out there.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna just check for them.
Yeah, let me.
You wanna?
Yeah, let me
get whatever it is. Yeah, go ahead, please, whenever you're ready.
Plunder, True Crime Audio.
28 degrees here.
Oh goodness. We actually got there this past week. We got there.
No way. Oh god.
But yeah, it's not often that it happens. But yeah, so it was like I think the other morning when I woke up, it was 25 here.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I won't complain. All right. At least it's sunny today. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Behold, your salvation comes.
Okay. Let's get out of that one. And let's pull this one up here. Oh, glad you could make it. Yes, definitely make sure you watch from the beginning. It's wild. It's pretty wild.
He's pending a criminal case. Like his case in Washington is very, very serious.
Yeah.
And they told
Again, disclaimer, full credit to these for these calls to Plunder True Crime on YouTube. Make sure you go, if you're not already subbed to her, make sure you subscribe to her. She gets all of these things. That's awesome.
told me that they intend to extradite him. So, in a nutshell, I mean, I've called into Pasto a few times. Basically, what happened is we went on vacation to Washington State for Christmas, and while we were there, he assaulted me and broke my nose. Because I just want to have the assault reported. Because the reason I didn't report in the past is because he threatened to kill me if I did. And over the last 2 years is when he started becoming violent. And most of the time, it would be like a strangulation incident. And then time would go by and then he would do it again. And that was what it was for the longest time. And then all of a sudden, late summer, it escalated. And the specific assault that I want to report was September 6th into the 7th. It was like overnight. And that one, it was like insane. He just beat me with his fist like over and over in my head and my face, my ribs, just all over. While I was on the floor cowering, like he just kept on beating me. And I almost went to the hospital after that, but he just always would threaten. what he does after what he did after that assault is he started recording me. He started recording me like having an emotional breakdown. And he recorded like multiple videos of me after that, and told me he would post those videos if I ever like reported him, things like that. So I feel, you know, during these like rage episodes that he would have, he would literally say that he was gonna smash my face and rearrange my face, and he would go to prison for it, all this kind of stuff. And a couple of times I recorded him saying that stuff because it was just like so outlandish, and I was just like, what? You know, and I chalked it up to like, he's got mental issues. Like there's something really wrong here. He needs help. The police were like, well,
I mean, and it's unfortunate because, but it is like that in a lot of cases. I mean, and she obviously cared for him because she's, you know, like, well, he's got mental issues, you know, he just needs help. He just needs help.
You know, he could have killed you. Like,
yeah,
it's I mean, because the attack in Washington was like beyond. I mean, it was like the attacks in September, but it was like way worse because
I gotcha. So
he shattered my nose in septum. There was blood everywhere, you know, like just crazy. And I believe he left me unconscious there. So it's just like, really crazy to believe that anyone is capable of any of that.
Will Washington State Police come extradite?
Leave that top on. Now, what I do is I'm going to just play the calls. If you want, she has really good commentary and she has really good facts. So if you go and you watch her video, you can watch the whole thing through. But I just do the calls. That way you can go to her to watch the rest of what she has to say.
JLR investigates. Wouldn't that be crazy if he's over there in front of Nancy Guthrie's home in Tucson, Arizona, and he catches his own arrest going live? Criminal case against Jonathan Lee Riches, then we will see it there. We don't have a criminal court case yet. I was looking for records related to it. There. Thanks, JLR is ducking being
12 and 50 seconds.
Communications, how can I help you?
Hi, yeah, my name is I was calling to ask about filing a police report. This is sort of like an ongoing domestic violence situation. Your office just served a protection order on my behalf to the respondent that lives there in Pasco County. And I just wanted to talk to a deputy about that. And also I was advised by other law enforcement to file a report for prior incidents.
Okay. Give me just one moment. I'm just putting a couple of call notes. All right. Yeah, I can get something started for you here. What's the phone number we're speaking on?
It's
Plunder, True Crime Audio.
And repeat that phone number for me one time.
Plunder, True Crime Audio.
And do you live in Pasco County?
I did. Our house that we own jointly is there in Port Richey. But I had to. It's
Plunder, True Crime Audio.
Baxley Lane, Baxley Lane. and it's 34668 zip code.
Gotcha. And just repeat the street name and house number for me one time.
Plunder, true crime
Baxley
audio.
Lane. And I believe y'all just served I don't know what day it was served, but I think he was trying to duck service for a while, so I don't know when it actually got served, but that's the reference that you would have for this situation.
I gotcha.
So basically,
But then she breaks it down in a nutshell. I've called into Pasco a few times. Basically, she explains we went on vacation to Washington State for Christmas.
They had warrants out for him for felony assault, and so he got a new rental car and literally drove across the whole country all the way back to Florida.
So do they truly have warrants out for JLR for felony assault? I haven't seen a warrant. I have seen an attempt to locate. They mention that, and I have seen them mention, of course, they have probable cause. I haven't seen an actual arrest. All you can do is try and get down to the truth.
So I actually came to Arkansas, so that's where I'm at now. This is where my family is. So I escaped there. It's been a few weeks now. I've been in Arkansas, and I just had surgery, and I'm recovering from surgery. But so I had done the protection order, and the police in Washington. The case is pending in Washington, but the authorities there had told me to get a protection order. So once I got here to Arkansas, and I was able to do that, and I got.
I don't either. I don't understand it. I don't understand it because, and this is what I'm constantly saying to people. I'm constantly like, she has the dispatch calls, the 911 calls. She has the police report from the police that showed up that night. She has the medical report from the EMTs and the hospital staff, whoever treated her. So there's those records. And then she's got the order of protection where Jonathan is the respondent. So they may have agreed upon it, but she put it on him. So you have these things that, back up the story that she is telling, that her truth. And I'll say he has not even come out to defend himself. Now, I know there's people that are like, oh, well, they're not supposed to talk about it. Legally, he can't say anything about it. Well, you might not be able to talk about the case, but somebody who's innocent and their name is being dragged through the mud and all these things are being brought up. I believe if he was innocent, he would proclaim his innocence. He would say, I'm not guilty or whatever, but he has not done that.
Yes, that's been served, but they had also told me that I needed to speak to Pasco County about filing a report for prior assaults that are actually referenced in the police report for Washington, because I had told the police about prior incidents. So they wanted me to file a report on that. So the issue is that I'm not there in person.
Yeah.
So that's why I need to talk to a deputy. I had talked to a deputy last week when I called to see about the protection order and if it had been served yet. And I talked to a deputy then, and he had told me that, he suggested that I go to Garland County, Arkansas Sheriff's Department and ask if they could fill out what he called a courtesy report.
Yeah.
And then it to Pasco. But I went there Friday, and they said that that's not really something they would do. So they just said I should call back and try to initiate a report over the phone.
So Jamie said, so doing things. Garland County, Arkansas has their way and they conflict.
You know, I want to at least have a report.
I understand.
Jamie just says, I just want to have the assault reported, because the reason I didn't report it in the past is he threatened to kill me if I did.
We're not married.
I gotcha.
I mean, the only reason I didn't stay there is simply because I don't have any family or anybody in Florida. I only had moved there because of him. So, because I actually had the option on the protection order to have him removed from the home. And if I were planning to stay in Florida, that's what I would have done. But I don't have any like support system in Florida.
The dispatcher is
just to confirm, you had a protection order served against your ex-boyfriend, and your local sheriff told you to file a report about previous assaults that had occurred here with our county.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you'd also like to speak to a deputy about just the general situation.
Yeah, well, I just need to know how to go about filing the report. What all I would need to do for that. Because they were telling me here at the Garland County Sheriff's Office, they said that they said if it was a crime that had happened here and it happened a few months ago, they would just take the report over the phone and then, you know, assign it out to be investigated, I guess. But I just don't know how you do things there.
I gotcha. Now, how long ago did the assaults happen?
So basically over the course of our relationship we were together for 3 years exactly. And over the last 2 years is when he started becoming violent. And most of the time it would be like a strangulation incident. And then time would go by and then he would do it again. And that was what it was for the longest time. And then all of a sudden, late summer, it escalated. And the specific assault that I want to report was September 6th into the 7th. It was like overnight, the 6th, 7th. And then that's the one that I want to report.
She said, no videos, live nor pre-recorded, edited videos.
While I was on the floor cowering, like he just kept on beating me. And I almost went to the hospital after that, but you know, he just always would threaten. What he did after that assault is he started recording me. He started recording me like having an emotional breakdown. And he recorded like multiple videos of me after that and told me he would post those videos if I ever like reported him, things like that. So I feel
Jamie says, and in that one, it was like insane. He just
I mean, it was like an ongoing thing. But yeah, so that's the specific one. It would be September 6th to the 7th. And then, you know, in the report, I would also like to reference prior strangulation incident.
Okay.
I mean, it was like an ongoing thing. But the one from September, you know, it was really brutal. So I had really bad bruising on my face, and you know, I've got the pictures and all that. But
she said, I feel pretty certain, given his criminal case that's happening, again, I can't find this case number anywhere, he will try to use videos against me and things like that. The one from September was pretty brutal, she said. So I had really bad bruising on my face. You know, I've got the pictures and all that. So to me, that's another thing that can be easily confirmed or debunked. This woman is saying, look, I was in this relationship with this man. Trial. Now, how the injuries were caused
will almost certainly reference prior incidents because they look at patterns is what they look at like a pattern of events and escalation and different things like that. And so they will most likely, weigh prior incidents and things like that. So I just think it's important to have a report filed.
But Jamie said Washington State has what they told me in the hospital is that.
I could email that.
Yeah, we will get on that in just a moment. I'm just putting a few more call notes in here for you, and then I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, okay?
Okay. Sorry, my dog is.
No, that's okay. Thank you for being so patient with me.
He's a good boy. Yeah, this has been like an insane last month. I mean, I can't even describe. It's just been so much work. And it's crazy because I'm the victim and it's become like a full-time job, recovering and surgery and doing reports and protection orders. And I didn't think that I was going to have to do a protection order necessarily. They kept telling me to do it. And I was like, well, there's no way he's going to contact me. I was like, he would be crazy to contact me. And then he did. He actually did. A couple weeks ago, he emailed me about money because he's trying to basically take all the assets out of my name without anything in return. And that's what he emailed me about. So I went ahead and filed the protection order right after he did. I mean, I couldn't believe that he had the nerve to contact me.
I gotcha. Now, I have a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
What's your boyfriend's first name? And what's his last name? And what's his date of birth? Okay. And in reference to and I'm sorry, just because one of my dispatchers is asking me, what was the county that you're located in where you tried to make the report with your county?
Oh, I'm in Garland County, Arkansas. Hot Springs is the city. And they're the ones that I went and I did the protection order through their courthouse. Because it's a nationwide. I'm sure you know what it is.
Right.
The dispatcher's writing all this down. Jamie is saying it's just been so much work.
Okay, let me plug this. Okay. If you guys want to finish the rest of that video, make sure you go over and watch it on Plunders. My nose, this cold is driving me crazy. So I'm going to end this one here. My head is just so stuffy and I'm sorry, but I'm going to end this one here. Please do me a favor. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel and please consider becoming a member of the family. If you want to help us directly with what we have going on, please consider doing so. The links are down in the description below. Let me hear your thoughts and your comments, whether you agree, whether you disagree, if you learned anything from this video. Let me hear your honest thoughts. Leave them down in the comment section of this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. Please share, please like, and subscribe. I love you guys. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay safe. Keep asking those hard questions. Keep spreading that light. And I will see you all next time. Thank you guys. Have a good night.